Hail to all! This is Bear Nerd Fun, and this is Fourth Wave Late Edition. Panel, introduce yourselves. How you guys doing?
Who goes first? Is it PJ or me?
Go
Let's
ahead,
go
comics.
clockwise.
Seniority first.
Seniority. Well, hey everybody,
Senior.
I'm Comix Division. Not having on the camera on today. I'm being lazy tonight, so there's that. What's up, everybody?
Was shaking. I had some bacon earlier. Yeah, Tommy, I would not suggest eating some of them ghost pepper from that ghost pepper tree. Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Hello.
You get some interesting afterburn.
Yeah, yeah. Because basically, I don't think it's a ghost pepper, but he's got this pepper tree that grows in his yard. That he finds it very annoying and it's toxic. You don't want to eat those. Don't want to eat those peppers. They look like cherries, and you don't want to burn that kind of wood at all. No, no, no. So, how's everything going where you guys are at? And did it rain or did it sunshine? And can you find toilet paper?
No, I can't
Well,
actually.
um, the only kind of toilet paper you're going to be able to find is probably RV toilet paper. It's the one thing that people don't think about to buy.
Hmm.
Well, I like I said, I've been kind of on top of the whole coronavirus thing. Shit, sorry, the beer bug.
Beer bug.
Yeah, and so 3 weeks ago, I stocked up on toilet paper and various other dried goods. So I've been prepared for the panic. It was pretty funny when I first started seeing things getting taken very serious by the CDC. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I walked over to my wife. Actually, no, it was like probably close to 10. Walk over to my wife, and I was like, I'm going to the grocery store to buy a bunch of stuff. She's like, why? It was like, this coronavirus is getting serious. Damn it, I did it again. I'm sorry. The beer bug is getting serious. Okay, because the reason why I'm apologizing because YouTube will fucking suppress your video for using the C word. So anyway, I went to the store and stocked up on a bunch of stuff and toilet paper, cleaning supplies, dried goods, and other stuff. So I'm good to go, and I just occasionally pick up additional stuff as needed.
Do you have any of those long-term MREs at
Yes, I
home?
do.
Oh, that's good.
I have a box of MREs I bought like 5 years ago, so they're probably needed to be used. And I also have some Mountain House stuff I keep for like it's like that. Once we hit the Mountain House stuff, then it's like we're out of food.
Yeah,
The other thing I did was I bought those 55-gallon drums to store water just in case.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm good. I'm good. Nothing too I think crazy at this point.
Well,
Um,
before stuff started disappearing from shelves, I decided to start to do some grocery shopping on Walmart online first, and then I discovered that there's actually a grocery site now, and so I ordered some groceries from there. So I've got stuff coming in stages. By the way, if you drink soy milk and you're lactose intolerant, the store's got plenty of soy milk. Apparently, there's a
oh
lot of
yeah.
people who don't like that.
They do, yeah.
I use we use almond milk, and
Oh man, almond milk is tasty.
almond
I
milk is not bad. It's great in cereal. Yeah, I
It
cook with
is.
it. It was funny because on when I'll tell the story since probably no one has heard this, but you guys, I think I've already told you. So on Friday, I went to go get lunch, and I noticed that there was like a line of cars, not a line, but the parking lot was filled with cars. It's normally never this full. I was like, that's unusual. And I ended up going to the store um, that night, and it's like the entire paper section was gone. Toilet paper, paper towels, facial tissues, all gone. All the meat was gone. All the rice and beans were gone. the cereal aisle's decimated. The dog food section was even hit really hard. I was able to find cat litter, thankfully. Eggs were practically gone. I still got a carton, but the almond milk was just fine. But all the other dairy stuff was gone.
Man,
The produce section and the frozen section was also hit. It was nuts.
I'm kind of glad I'm lactose intolerant. Because
You cannot find ramen anywhere at this point.
well, ramen's the last thing people should be buying because I mean there's absolutely no nutritional value. I mean the packet itself, it's the best thing in there, man. Because if you're low on sodium, it's got chicken flavor, and you can bring your sodium levels up if you're lacking sodium. You know.
Well, the
Other
key
than that,
the key to it is you don't just eat the ramen yourself. You that's where your canned meats come in. So if you get like chicken ramen, you can put like the canned chicken in it, or dried beef, or corned beef in it. I mean, so it's
yeah.
not you're not supposed to just eat it by itself. If I would actually buy the ramen packets just for the ramen noodles and make my own ramen and add egg and other stuff.
Oh, you make your own ramen?
Well, I made my own ramen soup, not the actual noodles. But
Oh,
because do you know how they make ramen noodles?
I do not.
The really cheap ones.
No, I
They're
don't.
coated in
No.
styrofoam, man. I am not kidding. Just do a search on it, and they've got something. It's very chemically. It's very similar to styrofoam.
Well, it's like the whole thing with like Dr. Pepper being very chemically close to what was it? Engine coolant.
Wow. Yeah.
really?
Yeah. But the reason why you get it is because it keeps, and you can have it with other stuff. Plus, I actually like the shrimp ramen for some reason.
Shrimp ramen. I don't think I've ever had shrimp ramen.
Shrimp flavored ramen is the best.
I agree.
If you haven't tried it, Bear, you should. You're missing out.
Shrimp ramen. Yeah, I very rarely eat ramen. Ever since, I'm very visual. I read something that's bad about food, I'm like, okay, I can't stop seeing the visual. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Jet Screamer? How you doing? How you doing, Angelus Draven?
Hey, Jet.
What's up, Tommy?
How's it going, Tommy? Sorry I didn't say hi to you yet.
Figured out. Hey, what's up, Sentinel? How you doing, man? Man, we got 8 watching. We had 9 a second ago.
Yeah, it shows 9 right now,
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah. So yeah. So today was pretty nice. Drove around. I didn't see any panic, any people being freaked out and stuff like that. Now,
Are you in a rural area?
um,
Yeah.
I am in Western Washington. I live right near the Capitol. I'm
Okay.
like between Lacey and Olympia, and I'm right by the Capitol. And so there's a reason why there possibly could be so many cases here because I'm on the West Coast. SeaTac Airport's not far from here. People from all around the country are coming and going into the capital of Olympia because, there are politicians there. They do stuff and all. And so you got people meeting and all that. And basically, the Governor Inslee here in Washington State has issued a state of emergency. The first one was it reduced people from gathering no more than 250. And in the middle of the night, last night, wee hours of the morning, this morning, he changed it to no more than 50. And he ordered all restaurants and all public places, movie theaters to be closed.
Wow.
And there was only parkside and curbside service for restaurants. That's all they're allowed to do.
It hasn't gotten super crazy here. I mean, okay, so they haven't canceled, I'm sorry. They postponed Fiesta, which is something San Antonio never does. And so this is like the first time I think in the history of Fiesta that it's getting
Yeah.
postponed.
Is that related to Easter?
It happens around Easter, but it has nothing to do with Easter.
Okay.
Yeah, Rural says Seattle streets are almost deserted. It's like, yeah, I was driving around today, Rural, and I like to listen to the radio, and I switched to the AM and I switched to different stations on AM, and they were talking about Seattle, and it's pretty pretty deserted up there. Streets empty and stuff, you know. Businesses closed down, and hey, I gotta say the radio stations are pushing real hard for people to support those restaurants and buy business cards and stuff like that to help them through, because there's a lot of businesses right now that's suffering. So if
Yeah.
you're in an area where they ordered the restaurants to close and they're only allowing curbside service, and they got gift cards, man, go out there and buy some gift cards and help those businesses out, man. You
So
know,
are the food delivery services like Uber Eats, are they like is all that working?
I don't know if that's working, but I do know curbside is allowed, and probably more than likely delivery is allowed too.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, if they're
But despite these things that are going on, man, I've seen people not stressed out, and
that's good.
DoorDash and such are running. Yeah, okay.
I don't. The funny thing is, like, it's like there may be a shortage of food at the grocery store, but I don't see there being a huge shortage of food at restaurants.
Yeah, they have a different supply chain.
No,
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
do have a different supply chain, and that it's like if you can't get food at the grocery store, just go to a restaurant. But again, also depends on how they're
Curbside.
limiting stuff. Probably gonna have to be curbside.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm kind of visual, and it's like, you know what? I'm at this point, you know, my hands still smell like Pine Sol because there is no hand sanitizer out there to be had anywhere, and the back order for hand sanitizer in Washington State is late April, maybe June or May.
Wow.
Sorry, May 1st, and at back order. And I was on the Reddit site for them talking about the the beer virus, and there's a distribution section in there, and the other day they said 400,000 boxes on one truck went out, 500,000 boxes on another one went out, and so they said distribution is still working. It's still being brought in. Stuff still being brought in. It's just they're
Yeah.
having a hard time keeping up with some of the demand.
Actually, they've taken the limit the hour driving limit that the truckers have. They've gotten rid of it temporarily.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing because you know what? I used to be a truck washer, and I washed trucks from when I was 17 for like 10 years, man. And so I used to wash a lot of trucks. And before they had 12-hour limits, there was no limits, and they could do whatever they want, you know.
Hmm.
And if you remember correctly, when they put that 12-hour limit in, the price of stuff started going up because
Sure.
basically the product was not getting there as fast as it was. And when you create congestion like that, you're gonna have problems.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so basically, don't panic, don't freak out. You know, make sure you got some food and all that, and order ahead of time a little bit. That's what I did because when I
Yeah, it's
started,
really the only thing you can do. I
the
mean,
first night, because it was, let me see, it was Friday, Friday the 6th.
Hmm.
Was it Friday the 6th? No, it was the 13th. Friday the 13th. There was no toilet paper.
yeah, my local
None.
my local grocery store. I mean, last I checked on Sunday, still doesn't have toilet paper.
And basically, when I seen that there was no toilet paper at Walmart and no toilet paper at Fred Meyer, I should have immediately went right over to the Safeway because Safeway still had toilet paper. Because Safeway has become so expensive that people kind of stop shopping there. And I'm serious. Safeway used to be a good bargain,
Yeah,
but
it used to.
they
That's
they,
crazy.
they the whole West Coast they renovated all their buildings, and all of a sudden prices went up sky high. I used to shop there every frickin' day. Let me tell you, when I first moved to Washington State in '99, let me tell you, I survived off of spinner noodles and cans of spaghetti sauce, Hunt's, 89 cents a can, you know? And Safeway, their meat and stuff like that, good price. And I used to go there, and I survived off of Safeway when I first moved to Washington State.
Mhm.
And now, you wouldn't be able to do that now. You wouldn't be able to shop at Safeway on a budget because a lot of the stuff they have is expensive. But I drove 45 miles. Actually 40 miles. It was a 45-minute drive. And because my where I go to get the meat for the month, steak, roasts, they had no chicken. They were out, and so I got that. Believe it or not, Friday. At the same time, I tried to get toilet paper when I got back into the area, and let me tell you, I tried going to my usual place, and I had to go to the same grocery store, only it was up in Auburn, and even then, people were kind of acting kind of weird. There was more stress, more panic that day than there has been the past couple of days that I've seen. And so I knew right then and there. I knew I had to go to the store, and I called my order in, so that way when I got to the store, there would be something waiting for me, and basically they got gang rush or something. But that store, man, plenty of stuff in there and all that, and no one freaking out. Although I didn't think to check for toilet paper there. Had I checked for toilet paper there and they didn't have it, probably would have realized that, it's a problem. But yeah. So yep. So basically, if you're able to, order the foods that you need on Walmart.com, and I think they do have a cash function where you can pay cash for pickup. I think it's been a while since I used it because I once ordered a TV online and I chose the cash option, and so
Greetings.
I went in and paid for my TV with cash, and then it came in the mail. But I don't know if they still have the cash option available. What's up, CJ? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. We got 3 confirmed cases of the C virus.
That's no
Oh.
fun.
No. I call it C virus, like Resident Evil.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been calling it the beer bug.
Hey, when life imitates fiction, it's an eye opener a little bit. I gotta say.
Yep.
Yeah. Simpsons predicted this.
Did they?
Yeah, actually. Mm-hmm.
It's funny because it seems like they predicted a lot of things.
Let's avoid the Hollywood actor that was in The Simpsons and all that. Let's avoid that one.
Oh yeah.
We all know
Let's
that
avoid
one,
that.
but yeah, we'll steer clear of that one. But yeah, The Simpsons are really kind of ironic in that way because all kinds of things that they unknowingly or probably knowingly predicted. Because you know what? Somebody on The Simpsons is a frickin' psychic. I'm telling you. That or their inside knowing.
That's frightening.
Yeah. So around here, I drove by last night. I was coming back from somewhere. I don't remember where the hell I went. When I was coming back, I drove by the theater in Yelm, and last night there's people at the theater. Kid you not, man. It was before the order for reduction of gatherings, 50 people or less. That was ordered. And restaurants, bars, and movie theaters, where anybody congregates publicly, was ordered to close. That was issued by Governor Inslee here in this state.
I haven't been keeping up. I know that we've definitely. I think we're cutting stuff back. I want to say, nationally, they're talking about don't gather in an area that's more than 10 people.
Uh,
But I don't know like how crazy it is as far as like gatherings. But I don't pay attention to the local news. I probably should just to know what the hell's going on now.
They've recently closed down all the Cineplex theaters, Canada as well.
Yeah, I got an email from REI, and REI is closing their stores down until like the 27th, which I thought was kind of interesting.
oh, very, and yeah, just for I was in the dollar store the other day, and I hardly ever buy dollar store ibuprofen, and and I thought, well, I'm here. There's ibuprofen right there, so I grabbed a couple. What the hell? Because on my way back from because basically when I was on my way out to the grocery store, it's about a 45-minute drive, and you got on I-5 North, you got to go by Fort Lewis, and because basically they changed the name. It's Lewis McCord Joint Base, and it was almost smooth sailing northbound. There was a little bit of traffic when going by Fort Lewis. That's normal, but the I-5 southbound, it was a parking lot from the Olympia area all the way up to Tacoma, and that's like it's about 15, 20 miles of traffic lined up.
It's interesting.
And so I knew when I got out there, because I used to work out near that area. I worked in I worked in Sumner. It's kind of like not too far the back way highway routes that are smaller than the interstate. So I know all the area back there, and so I know how to get home from going the back way in that area. Because if you don't know, basically it's a good way to get turned around and get lost.
Hmm.
In Auburn, they got so many different one-way streets, man. You definitely want to use navigation when you go into Auburn, even if you're familiar with that town, because once you miss your turn, you got to do a bunch of crazy turns here and there just to get back to where you were because of all the one-way streets. And so I use navigation in and out, and then I went into the back way, and I did not take I-5 south because I would have been probably home 3 hours later.
Damn.
Yeah, because basically, it took me an hour and 20 minutes to get back going the back way, and it took me about 45 minutes to get out there, so that wasn't too bad. And I kind of took my time because I was stopping at stores here and there, looking for this and looking for that. Smashed the McClunky.
Smash the McClunky. Nice.
McClunky. Yeah, that was Tyler. Tyler came up with that one, and it's sort of like it's the fourth wave kind of thing. Yeah,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah. And we got 12 watching. Awesome. So no movie theaters. So guess what? Hey, Price of Reason, how you doing? So basically, pay-per-view and Voodoo, they're gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah, I was thinking probably now is the time to grow your channel, or you're probably going to see a lot of channel growth because people are probably going to be stuck at home
Yep.
watching YouTube and watching, whatever streaming service.
Yep. Doing what we do best. Talk.
Yep.
'Cause
This
I
week,
don't, I don't,
I think it's probably a good week to, get back to streaming.
oh.
And now there's dead air.
No, there's not dead air. There's molecules in there too. There's atoms, there's molecules. We just can't see them.
Well, yeah, it's like, did I kill the conversation?
And if you listen closely, you can hear it late at night. When everything's dead silent, you can kind of hear a hum.
It cries.
Just a hum of the universe, you know. And you ever
It's
notice how
midichlorians.
late at night you can kind of see like you know the particles that rise and always they go all through the earth throughout the universe when you turn the lights out. You know how you can see it? It's been scientifically proven that you can see things rising.
Yeah.
And it's what I love about science. It's like it's some kind of field that's constantly moving through the earth. And late at night, if you turn all the lights out, you can kind of see it a little bit. And when I was a kid, you know, you learn about science. It's one of the cool things about science that you learn that I learned when I was a kid. And there wasn't a lot of things when I was a kid that was cool to learn because you know I had a learning disability, and times were tough and they weren't very freaking fun. And so, anytime science was fun, it was a big, huge influence on me when I was a kid.
How old are you, Bear?
48.
Okay, so we're roughly the same age. So we both have learning disabilities, and we grew up during the time when the school system had no fucking clue how to deal with people with learning disabilities.
Yeah, I call it the dark ages of learning disabled classes.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Yeah, they diagnosed me as emotionally disturbed.
Really?
And yes, emotionally disturbed with Hail El Presidente.
Hey there.
And
You know, I just
yeah,
caught this.
how you doing? How's things
I'm
going
doing
over there?
good. Huh?
Just wondering how things are going over there and all that.
Pretty good. Like I said, I'm getting ready to turn in, and I just happened to catch this. So I said, well, let me pop in and say hi to the crew. You know,
Yeah.
y'all guys be starting so damn late, man. it's time.
Well,
It's time for Betty Bye for me.
it
Well, it's like
is
the first time we've actually talked in person.
Who is this?
Comics Division.
Comics
You
Division.
you actually
Comics
found
Division. I've heard of you. How's it
yeah,
going, man?
doing
Pleasure
pretty
to
good.
meet you.
You actually
Oh,
left a comment on my last Jedi review like a
there it
long
is.
time
Yes.
ago.
Oh my God, yes, that was so spot on that you did. I knew I was recognizing because your name has been popping up
Yeah, the
all over
avatar is
Twitter.
different, but yeah, from when I was using the Wolverine one that a friend of mine
Oh,
created.
okay,
Yeah,
that's it. That's it. Well,
you
I'm
may
just
remember
glad that
that.
we finally get to meet, man, and
Yeah,
just
man, love your
just
channel,
an
dude.
accident of circumstances.
Yeah,
So
man, it's cool.
I don't know if any of you like Hennessy because last night I picked up one of those 3-shot little bottles of Hennessy and you know I sip on it. It's good. It kind of got a caramel flavor in the aftertaste. And I just want to say cheers to everybody.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Bear, for
Cognac.
giving me the invite. You know, like I said, it was a lucky thing that I actually saw it because somebody had DM me on to give me some information that I was looking for. So, like I said, I was getting ready to turn in for the night. You know, everybody was blowing it up on Midnight's Edge, toxic femininity. So the ladies was on
Wow.
fire tonight.
They usually are.
You know, I've been working hard on trying to get my stuff together in terms of music and what I'm gonna be doing for our show, The Dark Council, tomorrow night. So we just trying to, get things together.
Yeah, I seen that mix that Steven put together
Mix?
of your rap song you did.
Oh yeah.
Man, I gotta say that was sweet. That was
You know
sweet.
what? I'm kind of glad everybody dug it. I mean, like I said, we're here to, at the very least, give people the news and entertainment, but we make a concerted effort to try to do it in ways nobody else can do it. So I'm just glad everybody was in the zone, everybody was enjoying themselves, and that's the whole point of why I do what I do.
Yeah, you know this April 19th for me will be my 1 year of uploading. I've had my channel since 2013, but I didn't start actually
Oh, okay.
uploading and creating content
Mm-hmm.
until April 19th a year ago. And I'm
Oh,
coming up on
okay.
my 1 year. And you know what? I really love what I do.
That's good.
I really love this, and it's one of the things that it gives me joy. I get value out of it, and I've met a lot of great people doing it. And I want to continue to keep meeting a lot of good people doing it and all that.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yep.
Some people get into this, for the glory and fame. Others get into it to just, spread the word and spread the gospel.
Yep.
Some do a little bit of both. And, we get others that get inspired, by members of the Fandom Menace community, that get in here and do what they do every week, every time they drop a video. I'm one of the OGs, so, I've been here since the beginning. So the only reason I jumped on this thing because I was mad and I couldn't take it no more.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. I was
Yep.
pretty pissed when I walked out of The Last Jedi. It was funny because I went and I was supposed to go see it with my wife, and then she canceled, so I ended up inviting a friend.
I'm
And when the
shocked you
movie-
ain't got. I'm shocked you ain't get divorced behind that. I know your wife was pissed. Like, what
Well,
the
no,
fuck did you take me to?
No, she didn't feel well, so I ended up taking a friend of mine, and
Oh, okay.
when we got done, he looked at me and he's like, "So, did you like it?" I was like, "Fuck no." He's like, "Yeah, I don't like it either."
Mhm.
But my wife ended up watching it on I think it was either Netflix or Amazon, when it was streaming, and she's like, "This movie is terrible."
Well,
Trash,
The Last Jedi.
trashola.
My brother-in-law, my wife, and me, we went to, believe it or not, it was the very first tiered seating theater in Lakewood, Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and Regal Cinema, and it
Right.
was the first tiered seating, and I seen episode 1, 2, at that theater. I seen 3 over in Indiana when I was in Indiana, but
Oh,
I seen
okay.
the first 2 at that theater. And man, it was the first time I sat in this tiered theater. I'm like, yes, no one's head blocking my view.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually had more room than the standard theaters, and it was awesome. It was great. And so
Right.
we went to that theater and went and seen that, and we kept giving each other side looks and looking at the screen, and we got this horrified look on our face the whole way through. And I think the first thing all 3 of us in stereo, and said,
Mhm.
"What the fuck was that?" And we all looked at each other like, "Wow."
Mark Hamill tried to warn us. We
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah, he
catch the
did.
hint. He
Yeah,
didn't
he
catch
did.
the hint. He cared enough about us to give us the warning because he said, "You know what? Ryan Johnson making a fucking mockery out of this shit. I gotta warn the fans. I ain't trying to have my good name fucked over by nonsense."
Yep.
Tried to warn us, but we couldn't. We didn't catch on until it was too late. But it's all
Oh.
good, man. Yeah, Ryan Johnson finally came out and admitting, I don't give a fuck about no Star Wars lore, no fuck up history, fuck their history, fuck Lucas, fuck everybody. I'm doing my own thing. What about JJ? Fuck it, JJ. Let them give it to Carla Chavarro. I'm doing my own thing. I'm gonna have women doing super Mary Ray shit. And I'm gonna have Rose Tico. I'm gonna have the one character that shouldn't be in Star Wars, but I brought her in there because she's interesting. I mean, he just went all out. And like I said, it took a little while, but he finally admitted because he ain't got no trilogy no more. So he might as well
Yeah.
just come out and say, "You know what?
That's right.
Fuck all y'all."
At this point, I want them to give him a trilogy because it's just gonna be fun to make content about. They've
Yeah.
already ruined Star Wars. There's no turning back at this point.
That's true. That is very true, comics. And you know what? I feel like my work is particularly done because the only reason I made my YouTube channel was to fucking scream on this Last Jedi bullshit. And I never intended myself to be a YouTuber on any level. I only did the Last Jedi review because I was bitching and moaning so much on Twitter. Somebody told me to just do your own Jedi, Last Jedi review, and I said, because I ain't know nothing about it. I was like, I don't know how to do it. I ain't got the camera. He said, you got a smartphone. Just turn on the smartphone and say what you got to say, which I did. People, and I only did it for the people on Twitter, and they liked it. They wanted another one. So I did the one where Ryan Johnson was interviewed by Collider back when they was real fit and strong. And they was throwing them all them soft ass ball questions and stuff. And I'm shaking my head like this is a fucking travesty. So I made a 30-minute video out of that. turned it to Twitter. People liked it. They said, do one more. Because I said I was done. I was like, I ain't got no time for this. She said, no, do it. One more. Give me one more. I was like, it's like, okay. Then J.J. Abrams did that thing that we were sexist and we're afraid of women characters. And I did that video. And after that, there was no going back.
Yeah.
2 years later, yeah.
I think JJ was Deep Threat. What do you think?
JJ was this.
He was the leaker.
Oh, he was.
I think in the end, I think he was the one doing the leaks.
Oh shit! It's too little, too late. The fucker.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. At least the old fish can learn something new, you know.
Yeah, but at least he had the good common sense to go to George Lucas and say, George, knocking on his door, George. What do you want?
Fucked up, George.
Fucked it up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Bob Iger's bugging out. Kathleen Kennedy losing her mind. The fans revolting. Nobody's buying the merch. What are we going to do, George? Well, that's what you get for fucking around with the white slavers, man. What I got to tell you, man. You know, what can I tell you? But you know what, JJ, you a hack, and I love you still, but I help you. He tried to help me. He said, I'm going to try to help you, JJ. I got something that's perfect to get this shit back on track. You want to do it? Yes, sir. Kissing this ring. Thank you, George. Thank you, George. All right. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, they went and did the little, filming and stuff and got the Matt Smith to, do the Son of the Waters arc, and then he threw in some of his story treatments. When he got that shit back to Disney, Disney was like, what the fuck is this, man? What is that? Son of the Waters, the midichlorians. What the fuck is this, man? We don't want none of this. They're gonna confuse the picture. Yeah, come on.
I hated the midichlorian shit, but at this point, I'll fucking take it over what Disney
anything George Lucas creates, it's all right with me. I ain't never had no problem with the midichlorian. I know it kind of, people say it demystifies the whole force and stuff, but people gotta remember, listen, man, this is George Lucas's work. We act like this dude is just coming out of here and just doing something. This is his story. If anybody got any carte blanche to change anything in the Star Wars franchise, it's him. This is his creation. We play in the sandbox as a courtesy. And you know what makes George so great in my eyes? He let us do it. He ain't really worrying about, getting lawsuits and copyright infringements and just play in the sandbox, do your thing, but don't claim it as your own. Don't try to get no money out of it. But other than that, man, have a ball. That's why you seen all these fan films back in the days. They was just they was just doing it well, and it made us appreciate it. Even Lucasfilm got in on the fan film thing. They had contests for fan films to do. You don't see that nowadays.
No.
As soon as you do a fan film, the Lucasfilm ready to copyright strike your ass.
Yep.
That's what happened to Star Wars Theory.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they gave him the carte blanche. They worked it out with him on something that, as long as any residuals or what have you goes to Disney, because he literally had
the Vader thing?
The Vader thing, right.
Okay, I didn't realize that was Star Wars Theory.
He spent all his money, his money to do the film, and they was about to lock him down. They all had the dude near in tears. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
he was not happy.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't be happy either spending all my money to try to do something that celebrates my love for Star Wars, and the Disney Lucasfilm ready to sue the fuck out of him. Now he had to beg and plead that, the please do it, we'll do it for charity or whatever. And they said, all right, man, but don't get it twisted, man. You get too carried away, we fucking shut you down. I noticed that he never pulled out the rest of the series. Yeah. Because after a while, he probably was like, what the fuck am I doing? I got to fight with these dickheads? Yeah.
The thing is, if Lucasfilm was smart and Disney was smart, they would have hired his ass. Is what they would have done. They should have done.
You know what? If I was in control, I would have done the same thing. Get rid of these fucktards and bring in somebody that actually knows Star Wars. But then again, Star Wars Fury is like, little, kumsi kumsa with this shit. And like, you for the fans 1 minute, but then you kissing Disney's ass the next. I can't deal with that shit.
Yeah.
Don't play both sides of the fence. Choose a side.
You did an interview the other day with Sam Witwer with Collider.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But Collider is not what it once was.
Nope.
Collider's dead.
Not. It's pretty much toast at this point.
Collider's dead. They was at the top of the mountain one time. Remember all the good old days, Campia, Harloff, Mark Ellis, and all the motherfuckers, Dennis Zhang, everybody hobnobbing with the star. They all in their tuxedos, got the press pass, taking pictures. Yeah, they really thought they were the shit. Then they went on Collider. They gave the expert opinions and all of this other dumb shit. Yeah, but not a problem. We used to look up to these boys. Now look at them. Each of them is at home on StreamYards trying to build up these things once again. Now they in their basement, in their kitchen, in their living room doing podcasts. Yeah, well, that ship has sailed, my man. Now the Fandom Menace community and everybody else is jumping on the game and just keeping it real, man. We ain't got no sponsors. We ain't got no how should we say, promoters and people with access to the backstage and all that. We don't want none of that. We will sit down and watch the movie with the rest of the people. We pay our money to see it. If it's trash, we're gonna let you know. If it's good, then we give it the thumbs up. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If it's yummy delicious, we're gonna let you know.
Yeah.
But that's the funny thing. They think they can make the tastemakers. They think they're the tastemakers. They think they can set the trends, and it's not them. It's the fans who basically sets the trends. They decide what is popular.
That's right.
Not
That's
these fucking
right.
corporations.
Corporations just get these little shills running around here like, yes, man, we'll pay you some money. Just shill the fuck out of this movie. It might be trash. We already know it's trash, but we got to get it out there. Can you do it? Well, I thought, yeah. Here, a couple of thou. Just do your job, man. Make us proud. And that's what they did. They just didn't expect that the fans that keep getting disrespected. I don't know why. What's so funny? I keep telling people, why do you actually think that I'm supposed to go to a movie, spend my hard-earned money? I ain't got money coming out my ass like that. Shit, I live paycheck to paycheck. If I can scrounge up whatever I can to go to the movies, I want to go to the movies and be entertained. Not preached to, not all this politics and this woke nonsense. I want to be entertained. Can you give me that? Is that so much to ask? Is that so difficult?
Apparently,
and then you don't do it.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you don't do it, and then we actually voice our opinion on it, then we the bad guys.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Disney was handed the golden ticket. They were literally handed the golden ticket. They didn't have
Couldn't
to do
fail.
nothing but transfer them stories and make movies out of those stories.
The easiest thing, they thought that they was more talented than the people who did the EU books for over 20 years and had built another fan base behind. People are so stupid.
They thought they were smarter than us fans.
Yeah.
They thought they were smarter. And you know what? When you piss fans off, guess what? They're not going to spend money as much. And the only ones that are going to go to your movie is the ones that are reviewing it on YouTube.
Yeah, because the young kids ain't buying the merch like that. They ain't fucking buying the books. They're not buying the underoos. They're not buying the sticker decals. They're not buying or collecting cans of Coca-Cola with the characters on. They ain't doing all of that. And fucking kids, man, they stay on their smartphone. Yeah,
Tide Pods.
Yeah, exactly. Eating Tide Pods and being on Instagram, Snapchat, fucking doing clips for Pornhub. They not worried about those fucking Star Wars.
Oh, let's not forget the lick the toilet seat challenge.
Yeah, I seen that. You know damn well they ain't licking no dirty toilet seat. They ain't stupid. Like you making a video doing that. Like you think we really supposed to be a dirty toilet that you just came. Nah,
yeah,
stop.
You know damn well they disinfected the hell out of that seat.
Exactly. Stop the madness, shit. Now you might as well put the Lysol disinfectant spray in front of the camera view so we know what it is.
Yeah.
Stupid ass kids, man. That's why I scream. That's why I scream on their ass all day. I give a fuck. I hurt their feelings and all that. Abunas, you a boomer. You a shut the fuck up. I already know what I am. I'm your dad.
It's like all right, stop using the boomer because you know what, that applies to baby boomers and they're using it very incorrectly.
I'm Gen X, so
that's right, me too.
Yeah, same here.
But I'll take the little boomer quick because right now, this dude, and I'm gonna talk about it on Dark Council tomorrow, but I'll give y'all a little a preview. I got this dude all in my mentions because he was getting in on one of our Fandom Menace ladies, and I ain't trying to hear that. So my girl got out to me in the DM. I said, "What, baby? Don't worry about it. The Dawn is back. Daddy's coming home. I'm gonna take care of it." So I got in this little punk ass. When you're 50 years old and you're old and boy, shut up. Right? I played this ass something hard, and I said, you know what? Because the last time I got in somebody's ass, he ran the Twitter police talking about I threatened his life and I'm a violent person. I said, "Oh man, I told you was gonna be my victim." They ain't even say nothing about it. I said, "I don't know where you at to get at you." You understand? So what are you talking about? I said, and I said, some of y'all running y'all mouths on internet, and y'all so secure in being over your smartphone and not letting people know where you at. You know what I'm saying? I've been on Twitter for damn near maybe 4 or 5 years. I've been on Twitter jail 6 times. So I have no fear of any reprisals for these people. They know who I am. If I get at you, you better beware that the rain is coming. But some of them really got into their feelings, and this one dude that was in my hometown talking shit. And I told him, I said, "Dude, you do know you're in my hometown. We in the same city. I can get off for you the YouTube and on Twitter and come see you. And if I see you, I'm gonna put hands on you. I'm not nerd certified like that, dude. I don't have Funko Pops and all these other cartoons and shit on my wall. I will come out there and put my foot up your ass." Then he ran and called Twitter, and they suspended me.
You know what?
Then he did. Then when I got back on, he told another friend to tell me, "Can you come on my live stream and can we talk about it?" Nah, man, we can't talk about shit. You that ship is sailed. But I'm on here just to try to educate people, man. And you don't want the lessons, you don't want the knowledge, and that's on you, man. But I love Star Wars with a passion. I'm always gonna love this thing with a passion. I had to keep my geekness or whatever, undercover, man. So while these fucking kids running around here with their action figures and their comic books and all of this other shit, I'm up here thumping it out with dudes, almost getting shot. Banging these chicks and getting money. I did this all before I was 20. But once parenthood hit me, well,
Hey, that sounds like the area I'm from, Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I heard about it. Yeah, it's crazy out there. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So
hey, I was protected, man. Didn't matter where I went in Gary, I was protected.
That's what it is, man.
Hey, let's just put it to you this way. I had friends in the Little Bronx on the west side of Gary. I had big friends, and I could walk around that neighborhood. Nobody would mess with me, man.
Yeah, I only passed through Gary, Indiana, because my ex-wife, her uncle was Indiana. I forgot. Oh, damn, I forgot where he was at. But we went to a barbecue out there, but we had to pass Gary, Indiana, and like I said, man, it was like a mini ghetto out there.
Oh man.
That's basically the whole city.
It's pretty much all ghetto. You got Miller, you got Etna, you got Black Oak, you got Black Oak's a little phenomenon, man.
Right.
it's a little area where there's a bunch of white people at. And
yeah.
They're just as ghetto, man. They're just as freaking ghetto.
Yeah, only in America, right?
Right.
Man.
And Gary, man, when you're driving down the road and you're looking at someone, you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And if you're doing anything other than that, man, lead gonna fly your way.
Yeah,
and
man.
They're not gonna ask no questions.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm ducking bullets like it ain't nobody's business. I've been doing that since I was 14. Shit. But luckily for me, man, I've learned what I needed to learn in these streets. But the Star Wars, thing was always my. When you got to fall back from all the shit you're doing outside and you have moments to yourself in your own room, nobody got to see you, you can get into whatever you want to get into. And I was undercover like that. I had my baseball cards, the tops, when they was doing Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. And my mother used to pick up some of those cards for me when the Empire Strikes Back came out because they had the bubble gum and all that. But by the time Return of the Jedi came, I was hard pressed to like get whatever money I can from my grandmother, and I hit to the stores and I'd be getting those Star Wars cards, and I collected them. I used to have so many because I couldn't afford the toys. You know, the little toys that I did have, the X-Wing fighter and all of that, my stepfather threw that shit out like a bastard that he was.
Oh, that sucks.
And yeah, and but I had the poster of The Empire Strikes Back, big poster, and I can't remember how I got it though. Was it given to me? I can't remember, but I kept whatever I could with the Star Wars label. I actually owned the book Han Solo's Revenge. Now I was an avid reader. I was trash in everything else in school, but I loved to read. And Han Solo's Revenge, I remember the book, the cover, never forgot, because it brought back so many good memories that I just lost myself in the pages of that book, you know, and the story. But I only had that book, that one book, and I cherished it. Little action figures that I did have, but knowing that the Star Wars mythos and the story and the lore, all of these things, you know, fueled my imagination, man. You know, and it's one of those things that every good memory that I had, Star Wars was a part of that, you know, and that's why as a grown ass man, 50 years old, you know, that's my escape. That's my, you know, my happy place when I don't want to deal with the shit that makes me depressed or makes me sad, or, you know what I'm saying, or makes me angry.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah, it's like they're trying to inject depression into our entertainment now, so you can't escape it.
It's sad, man, because we don't want the real world. Not in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can understand if you got the Marvel movies doing that shit, but come on, you know?
There's certain things that I can understand, but yeah, it's like anything like fantasy or science fiction. It's like there's better ways of being able to handle current year crap in that without it being so on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, none of this shit should have existed in Star Wars. That's the thing. That's the thing that kills me, and that's the thing that pisses me off about it.
And these new kids running around here, like that chick that with the Rise of Skywalker book, she's spazzing out on Twitter.
God, yeah.
And I'm looking at her like, damn, bitch, you act like, you know, for the 30 something years, Star Wars has been in existence. Ain't nobody had a fucking problem. Now all of a sudden y'all coming Johnny come lately. Y'all coming in here, y'all bought Lucasfilm out, told George Lucas get the fuck out, disrespected him on some bullshit. Now all of a sudden you talking about, oh, well, this needed to come with the times, and oh, Rey was the first female Jedi that first of all, that bitch was never a Jedi, so you was wrong on that count. You know. Second of all, she just came out of nowhere doing Mary Sue Ray shit. And then you forgot everybody else that came before it, especially in the EU. But the fans like myself know these things. You got these 18 to 25-year-olds running around here talking crazy. Like they actually thought that, you know, the sequel trilogy was just the one and only thing that they latched on. And they missed out on a whole bunch of other stuff that's been here for years. But I blame Kathleen Kennedy. Shit, that bitch didn't even know all about the EU and everything else that came before it.
Yeah, I know that her comments were priceless. Oh, there was no material that we could have built on. It's like,
oh my God, lied to George Lucas' face. But you know what? I'm so glad. I'm so glad that they want to try to keep this thing alive. Now they got books to try to, you know, give Papa Palpatine the backstory he really needed, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, these
naming
kids.
him Sheev.
It's like
Sheev. I've gotten used to Sheev now, you know, but I don't call him Sheev. I don't call him. I call him Papa Palpatine when it comes to the movies, but I don't call him Sheev. I don't call him the Emperor. His real true name is Darth Sidious.
Yep.
It's always been that. Everything else is just what he put out there for the public to see. The prequels gave him his real name. He is the apprentice of Darth Plagueis, who gave him the name, his true name, and that's all he's going to have. Now that guy that was in that movie, that was Papa Palpatine. That wasn't the real thing. He was a clone. He was a clone that made Snoke the clone. So clones making clones, they having a ball in that movie, man. They having a fucking ball. And then you have poor Kylo turning into Ben and tongue kissing Rey at the very end. Yeah, I had to give the Reylos a little something, then they killed him. Then the Reylos revolted. I said, now you bastards know how we feel.
And then they retconned the kiss in the book, saying, "Oh, it wasn't romantic."
I wish I could kiss some girl and then to put my hand in a blouse and like, oh no, this is not romantic. Just out of gratitude.
It was the
deeply
kiss of
platonic.
gratitude.
They'll throw me in jail so fast. No, don't you understand? It was out of gratitude. Stop. But I love my job. I love my job keeping these kids stressed, keeping these people mad. I love it. I just love when they just lose their shit. Why can't you move on? Shut the fuck up. Oh, I gotta move on. I paid my money for this.
I was born in the wrong generation.
That's why I love to see all you YouTubers come out here and just put the boots to these kids, man. I don't really have to do anything no more. I'm just here to just stir the pot. Just stir the pot. You know, just don't get locked up 6 times like me and, you know, have people go out here, free Abu Nas, and then I got to find ways to have SEAL Team 6 to get the president out. And then I come back on Twitter, scare these fuckers half to death. Oh, no, he's back. Yeah, bitch, I'm back. And run back over to Twitter trying to get me banned again. So I have to go under assumed names and, you know, it's just a whole bunch of fuckery. But I enjoy it. You want to know why I enjoy it? Because it whatever I do, that if it inspires you guys to go in extra hard on these kids and just give them the truth, you know, if they can't handle it, oh well, you know, there's always Star Trek, but Star Trek is getting fucked over. Oh, well, there's always Doctor Who. Who's getting fucked over. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's getting fucked over. So obviously, there's got to be a point. Like, what do you expect us to watch? Thundercats roar? Come on. You know, you're not gonna turn our how should we say, our favorite franchises into the dirt, and you really believe that we're not going to say something. That's the thing that really gets me. You know, we can have a disagreement, and we can have what is the word? Differences of opinion.
Yeah, differences of opinion. Yeah.
Right, but at the end of the day, if I come at you and I tell you, yo, the Rise of Skywalker sucks. No, it don't. You don't know. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so you're getting yourself excited. I just said it sucks. If you like the show, then God bless you, man. Good. You know, God be with you. Enjoy. I just don't enjoy it. Therefore, I have a right to say something about it. And you find fault with that, then who's right and who's wrong? If you like it, that's cool. I can't convince you. You can't convince me. And life goes the fuck on. You know? I just love when the ladies get down in their ass. Then it's a problem. You know, and it's a problem. Minorities and ladies, they don't want to touch it. But white guys, yeah, they try to stay on your ass all day. And for what? You know, because, you know, the knowledge that people have despite their color gives you a problem. You know, you either need to grow up or get educated. Nobody don't want to do that nowadays. But
Hey,
ain't my problem.
I gotta say, beings where I grew up at, I think I got a real education in how real things are real. And
Yeah.
because that place is real. And man, I may not live there now, man, but you know what? It still lives in my heart because, you know, it is my home. It's where I was from. It's where I grew up.
That's
at.
right.
It's where my grandma was at and all that. And you know,
Yeah.
I've been in that area since the early '70s, you know.
Yeah.
And same with
Yeah.
East Chicago. You know, my
Mhm.
grandfather, he was born in Mexico. Grandma, migrant
Oh,
farm
okay.
worker. You know,
Right.
and you know they mill working people. Grandma was a migrant farm worker. You know,
Oh,
and
okay.
so you know, and growing up and being around East Chicago, I had family there. East Chicago's in Indiana, and then you got below that, you got Hammond, and then next to Hammond is Gary, and it's pretty much all kind of similar. It's all
Mm.
really ghetto fabulous, and
Oh shit.
and
Is
man,
that Tom from Midnight's Edge?
sure is.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I ain't got my glasses on. That's why I'm like, I just happened to see that beautiful bald head of his. What's happening, brother?
Not much. How you doing?
Oh my God. Y'all guys had a fantastic show on toxic femininity. My God, all of y'all was on fire.
Who did you have on
Appreciate
tonight,
that.
Tom?
We had the normal ladies, Candy and Mary and Alora, but we had Ryan pop on for a little bit. So, because he was in the news with the whole Ray Carson thing.
He was in the news around because of what?
Oh, he got himself blocked by Ray Carson because he called her out for her shit.
Oh,
He's right.
You know
That's
that
you.
one
I
road-
was shocked. I was shocked I didn't get banned from her. I just called her stupid. I was like, dude, let's tell that stupid bitch.
Yeah, he really
You can-
singled her out, or she singled him out for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, I guess it must be a white male thing. I literally let her have it. She ain't say nothing to me.
You guys
Yeah, she
remember
ignored all the women too.
You remember the Native American author? I believe her last name was Roanhorse. I did a video on her. She was She was a Star Wars author, and very, very, very racist, hateful toward basically anybody, and disrespectful because she used some stories from another tribe and she didn't have their permission to use it.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's a big, huge, big mistake. And she's Native, and she should have known better.
right.
And so Scotty, he goes and shares my video on her timeline on Twitter, and she blocks every single person I'm following, every single person that's following me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that was funny, Scotty. And that's how me and Scotty met when we first started doing the fourth.
oh,
book.
really? That's hilarious.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's what's
because
up.
there was not only a part 1, there was a part 2. And thanks to Itchy Baka on collecting a lot of that information.
Man, Ichibaka is like him, Data Racer, man. That's where I get my news, my 10-10 wins.
I want to know, where do they find the time to dig up all this stuff?
You know what? They better than me, man. Cause my short memory span ass, I can't do it. You know, and I try to retain what I could retain, and I use it on the fly. Them, they go into the archives, and we need people like that. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
they just got that beautiful talent of cross-reference, compare, contrast, get the good shit. So when they start running their mouth, Ichibaka, Data Racer, slow your brakes, son. We got you red-handed. You know, they can't stand them.
No, they don't like those guys, but
Oh.
we love them. We love them.
That damn right.
Yeah, they don't like facts, that's why.
Facts don't give a shit about your feelings.
Yep.
You know, like I said, every time when I see new YouTubers jump up, you know, and take the mantle, it just, like I said, it makes it easier for us old heads to kick back and watch the fireworks, because there's so many talented, you know, YouTubers out here right now just getting it in, you know, men and women alike. You know, I love it.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely love it. You know, that's probably why I don't do half as much.
Ruined Planet of the Apes.
Say again.
I'm waiting for the day that they. I'm waiting for the day that they ruin Planet of the Apes.
They already did back in 2001.
You know what?
Yeah,
I didn't dislike that movie, Planet of the Apes. I mean, Mark Wahlberg was meh, but the guy that was the general of the apes.
The end
I
was the
liked
worst
him.
part. Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end
the end
was
was
the
the
worst
worst
part,
part.
and they, for some stupid reason, had the humans talk. And I get it, they did that on the TV series, but that was for a reason compared to the movies, because it was just easier in the series than going with the whole business of humans don't talk. But yeah, the movie missed out a great opportunity, because the effects are great, and for the most part,
I can't remember the
part of the movie's
guy's-
good.
Tom, you know who I'm talking about, right? The leader
Tim Roth.
of the Tim Roth.
Yeah,
okay.
General
For some
Thade,
reason,
General Thade.
yeah, General Thade. For some reason, he did it for me. I for some reason, I just
They had
love.
Michael Clark
Tim Roth,
Duncan,
he
wasn't
nailed
it, as
the
the other
part.
gorilla? And then they
Oh
had,
yeah, his second in command. That's right. I love those two. For whatever reason, those two did it for me. But I really wasn't feeling Mark Wahlberg. I just felt like he was out of place. You know?
Yeah, and I also liked what's his face? He
love
played the orangutan
Caesar
too.
trilogy.
Oh yeah, the new one's great, and that's the only reason I have any faith in Batman. But from what I've seen, I don't know, because Matt Reeves did great on the second two Apes
the
movies,
two-
but he didn't
yes.
start it though either. He didn't start it.
Whoever started it was still a good
I
movie
can't think
though.
of his name now.
Yeah, me neither. But the one who started it was a pretty good movie too. I liked it. I mean, James Franco to me kind of surprised me, and how personable he was in that movie. You know,
James
especially the
Franco,
Caesar.
he's hit and miss, man.
Rupert
But,
Wyatt, that's who made the first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did a good job on that. I can't front. But when Matt Reeves took over, shit, that shit was lights out.
Yeah, the second movie, it's like you never thought you could feel so much for a CG, monkey. It's
Yeah,
just like
especially the
crazy.
third one. I'll be honest, the third one
Oh yeah.
is probably one of my favorite third films of any trilogy I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And
I
it's-
did love the third film myself.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, I know some people don't like the films, but I was very impressed with what they took from the original series and worked with here. Because really, it's more like a remake of the fourth and fifth film is what we're getting.
But they
Right,
did,
yeah.
but-
Well, that's what it was supposed to be kind of like.
But they did some good character study in that third
They
film, though.
did.
And I mean, they're supposed to be making a fourth one. I kind of hope they don't, because that's
No,
the
just
perfect
stop.
place to end it. Yeah.
Exactly. Stop while you're on top, please.
Yeah.
Yep.
But what at this
what
point,
a-
what would they cover with the fourth movie?
It would probably be a remake of the original.
Oh,
That's
damn.
about the only place I could see it going, but you'd have to like completely almost not necessarily disconnect it, but I don't know. I mean, I was kind of like when the series first started, I was hoping that's where it headed. But then after the second and third film, I'm like, I hope they don't do any more.
Yeah,
This is,
I was kind of good with them not going there.
Yeah. Like I said, it just as you said, Tom, because of Matt Reeves, that's the only reason I'm gonna check out the Batman movie. You know, I want to see because I'm not impressed. You know, with the stuff that I've seen, the Batmobile is like, okay.
there's room
Yeah,
for
well,
improvement.
Was the bomb as Batman.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to follow because
Batfleck forever, baby. There's no way, no how. Nobody's touching
as
him.
much as I didn't like those movies, Affleck I was on board with, and I'm just sitting there thinking
did a
through the
great
whole
job.
film. I'm like, I just wish they would have made, The Dark Knight Returns page for page. Just
Shit, Zack Snyder could do it. He'll do that
Yeah.
shit page for page, and he'll get shit for it. So these fickle ass people get me sick, man. You want somebody that's true to the medium, and that man is true to the medium with his heart. He loves that shit, and y'all give him flack for it. Meanwhile, Joe Russo and Anthony Russo ripping off his shit and putting it in Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. I'm telling you, man. When you have true originals and real filmmakers that love the craft, that knows visual, that knows storytelling, and you get these Johnny come latelys come by and ripping off their shit and people cheering they on, that's what happened. That's why I stand with Martin Scorsese. Start out with Martin Scorsese. Tell these dumbass kids, take that kitty shit and put it back on the show. Ain't cinema. It's fucking amusement park fun.
I completely agree with what he said. It really is.
MCU kids losing their goddamn mind. Of course they did. Of course they did. And I love it. I love all of it. But
Watchmen was a masterpiece.
you know what their
Watchmen and Man of
masterpiece?
Steel.
Oh my god, that Krypton scene, I could watch that forever.
I'm not getting started on
Ever.
Man of Steel. Don't get me started on
Yeah,
that.
you know what? Yeah, me and Tom had a nice conversation about Man of Steel. But actually, I do agree with some of the things that you had ideas about. It is very interesting. I can't front on that.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
still got to do that. I think I wanted to do it with you and Ryan. That stream, we still got to do that. Man, now we'll have the time, maybe. I know everybody's time wasn't. But yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole debate of that shit. But yeah, no. But
it's all good.
Batman is
So-
kind of. I don't
It's
know.
all good. I mean, I can respect
I
people's
did
opinions.
like Brandon. I did
Brandon
like Brandon Roth as
I think he
as
did a
Superman.
decent job. He was very personable. I mean, he's not Christopher Reeves, but I guess Bryan Singer wanted him to play Christopher Reeves light, but that's okay. At least I got the spirit of what he was trying to do.
Right.
Too bad nobody gave a fuck about the movie. You had Donner 2.0, and nobody gave a shit about it.
Well, basically, for me, you
Yeah.
can tell that Brandon Ruth, he loved what he was doing.
I think
know, you
Singer
could
had
see
the
he was
right
enjoying
idea.
himself.
He was absolutely in love with what he was doing, and I
Yeah.
liked it.
I think Singer
Yeah.
had the right idea, but somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was the script writing process or what. Because at that time, I was like, yes, you need to just, we don't need another origin story. We all know where Superman came from. We all know the
Right.
characters. Just kind of give us a soft reboot. And
Right.
then the movie came a direct sequel to part 2. And not only is it a direct sequel to part 2, it's almost like it's a direct sequel, half-assed to Donner's cut without the ending.
Wasn't
like,
that on purpose, or
it was kind of a mixed thing? Yeah, it was like, because for Superman's kid to have powers, Lois would have had to have slept with him when he was still Superman. But in the Lester cut, it's after he loses his powers they sleep together. In the Donner cut, it's before he loses his powers they sleep together.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of and in the TV version, there's a lot of added scenes, and that's the version he had always watched because it had everything added back into it. But the end of the TV version is the kiss ending, where he kisses her and Lois forgets everything. In the Donner cut on Blu-ray, on the Donner cut on Blu-ray, they had the spinning world again, which I wish they wouldn't have. I wish they would have just done the kiss ending instead.
I like the spin the world thing, but
but when if you don't cut it, they should have done an alternate version of the first film then, where the ending was what was as it was supposed to be, because then the spinning ending makes more sense at the end of part 2. But then that would totally retroactively make her not pregnant, so it doesn't matter. You have like a kind of a problem there, and because the original ending of the first movie was just supposed to be him stopping both missiles, and the second missile or whatever he throws into outer space, and it hits Zod and gang, and it frees them from the Phantom Zone. Yeah,
right. I really got into the first Superman movie with Reed. It was my heart was pumping when he finally got the first missile, and I was so sure he was going to get the other one, and then boom, he was in.
Yeah, because I guess the Lois dying ending was supposed to be on part 2.
Really?
But since they only had like 20 or so, 30%, maybe a little bit more of that than filmed of the second film, and they're like, we're running out of money and time, so like just finish the first film, and they had that special effect done. So like, find a way to put that on the end of the first film. So then they changed it to where Lois died at the end of the first film instead of the second one. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think Zod was supposed to kill her or something like that.
Oh, that would have been pimp. Would have been pimp right there. But, back in the 70s, what could you do, right? Shoot.
And so the only way that he could bring her back was to go back in time, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, Zack Snyder did time travel first. But, Joe Russo and Anthony Russo, it's not a thing that they can't, that they won't find the hack off of. But it's all good, though. Like I said, I stayed in my lane. MCU was good for what it was. Their best film in terms of my eyes was Captain America: Winter Soldier. They never made a movie that was on point from start to finish like that movie was. But it is what it is. Infinity War came and gone. Captain Wonder Bitch Marvel running around here getting ready to do part 2. I'm already done. Y'all can keep phase 4. Have a fucking ball. I'm done. I ain't got no time for the bullshit. Like I said, I'm up here trying to get the Snyder cut thing going so I can be happy and call it a day. Lord have mercy. And then get ready for Wonder Woman 84.
With the MCU, I'm only excited for the Spider-Mans. For the MCU, I'm only excited for the Spider-Man.
When they do, ain't they doing Spider-Man 3
type movies?
Yeah, that comes out next year.
Next year,
right after Morbius, I think.
Is it supposed to be this year? I thought it was next year.
No, I actually have a list pulled up I was looking at.
Because Morbius was supposed to be out this summer.
No, it's out this year.
Is Spider-Man 3 supposed to be out this year?
C virus.
No, not till later. It's still kind of unannounced. Damn it, where's that Newsarama article? Give me a second here.
I was about to say, damn, we in March right now.
I don't even think they're filming it yet. But
so
I could
for
be
this
wrong.
year we have Bloodshot, which came out March 13th. New Mutants, which was postponed. Black Widow, May 1st. June 5th is
fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Mutants, by the time they get that movie out, all the people, they're going to be 90 years old, and they're going to be, after all this time, we get to see the movie.
Morbius comes out July 31st. October 23rd is Snake Eyes movie. Can't believe they're doing that. And then November 6th is Eternals.
I think Sony knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's next year is when they're going to be doing the.
It took them a while, I think.
Here's the thing with Sony, and I hate to say this after the whole big MCU bashing thing.
Yeah.
you got to remember, almost all the same people that were involved back in the day that damn near destroyed Spider-Man are still there. The only difference is Tom Rothman, and from what we've heard is behind the scenes, half the reason any of this shit is any good is because Kevin Feige came in. The rumor was that he fixed the edit of Venom, and he's been involved with Morbius and a few other things. Of course, now everything's pretty much connected with the MCU. Now that was part of the deal, is that they get to work with those people and they would fund half the movies now. But yeah, but I mean, it's not a bad deal for him. It is a really good deal because Tom Rothman is not the fucking person you want in charge of this shit. Trust me. Okay. He's the last person you want. Even if you liked Spider-Verse, that's a fluke. Trust me, it's a fluke.
Oh man, Tom is not showing no mercy.
No, Amy Pascal still has her hooks deep embedded into Spider-Man, even though she's been shit canned from Sony years ago. She is still the primary driving force behind Spider-Man. So God help us, you want to keep other people involved, because if she's the one who's making the decisions, we're fucked.
We're fucked. Okay,
that's terrible.
Well, I wasn't too enthused about Spider-Man Homecoming. It was like, you know, the further adventures of Iron Man Jr. to me. So I was like, nah.
Well, you're right, man. That's exactly what it is.
I like it this fine because that we've seen enough of grown Spider-Man. My only issue is those who are like, I don't like Iron Man Jr., but I loved Spider-Verse. But I'm like, okay, so you have a problem with him being Iron Man Jr., but you have zero issues with Aunt May having a bat cave under her house. Okay, I'm just checking. That's where I'm at with that one. You can like or hate both, but if you like the one over the other, it really bothers me because it's like the Spider-Verse was okay, it was great, but if you're okay with that and not with Homecoming for that specific reason,
right?
And yeah, that really bothers me because it's kind of like the Batcave thing did it for me in Spider-Verse. I couldn't. That was where I lost it. And not only that, Aunt May looks like Amy Pascal.
Are you serious? That's hilarious. I still haven't seen it yet.
It's not horrible.
PS4 Spider-Man was pretty good, though.
My issue with it mainly, besides the whole Batcave thing, which isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of the movie, is I just didn't care for the aesthetic. I didn't like the herky-jerkiness of it, and I didn't mind some of the things being out of alignment, but when 99% of the movie is out of alignment, you start wondering if it's your eyeballs or the movie. Other than that, I mean, I get what they were trying to do with it, and some people enjoy it quite a bit. It did win the Oscar. I don't know how, but
stick that, Kathleen Kennedy. You fired Lord and Miller, and they left and made an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you can't take that away from them. So,
whoa, Lord and Miller were actually involved with that?
Yeah, they
was doing solo.
You know, I knew he was fired. They were fired from Solo.
Yeah, they were producers on the Spider-Verse.
Oh, they were producers. Okay, gotcha. That's
and they may have wrote it too. That's possible. Let me look here.
I just love them sticking it to Lucasfilm. You know, you fucking fire them. They go win Oscars and shit. You know, but that's your fault. You made 80% of the movie and you fired them. Why? Because they was probably, you know, doing something that made
they wrote the screenplay and the story.
And have Ron Howard do cleanup, but by that time it was too late. Shit. But hey, what do I know? I just spoiled the whole movie 2 weeks before it came out. Oops.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yep. Spoiler alert. Watch my video. You got spoiled hardcore, but I didn't give a fuck. I was still in Twitter jail when I did all of that.
Jesus.
So I was like, yeah.
Lucasfilm must have a really leaky ship.
Nobody don't care.
Yeah, it's just this is what a lot of those naysayers. Oh, we got Lethal Lightning in the chat. Hey, how you doing?
Hell.
It's just like like the things with Star Trek and all these other things. They just don't get it that sooner or later true fans are going to be working for them and they're going to get this stuff out. And that's where all these people are like, oh, you guys are just making this shit up. It's like, no, if we're going to make this shit up, it'd be a hell of a lot more salacious and entertaining than this. It'd be like Fanboy level shit, okay? National Enquirer level shit, you know? Come on. No, you can't make this shit up.
Elvis and the UFO type shit.
Yeah, so, when you've got a really shitty production where people don't like what's going on, of course you're going to get a lot of leaks. Yeah, because even that Star Wars girl, she got the Solo script sent to her early, and she thought it was fake until after she saw the film. She realized,
and it was all true.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is
But yet we're
absolutely
the bad
hilarious.
guys. Yeah, because people like Mark Hamill, shout out to Mark Hamill. If you care about the fans, he was Mr. Star Wars for damn near 40 years. He knew the character in and out. You thought that Ryan Johnson was so talented that he wouldn't listen to Mr. Star Wars when he tells you that's not the character, that is not him. He's not that should never even be a thought telling somebody in a Q&A that we're not going to listen to the fans. We're gonna think about the story. The story was already shit. You couldn't at least think about the fans. And Mark Hamill said, you know what? I know I'm in this movie, but they're not gonna fucking have me sign off on this shit. And then the fans look at this like that's not Luke, and then they're gonna look at me like I signed off on it. So no, he warned us, and look what happened. So the fans is warning other fans that they're disingenuous. They're a bunch of liars. They don't know what they're doing. And when you disrespect George Lucas and don't bring him to the premiere, then I don't give a fuck about your movie or anything else behind it. You know, that's why Bob Iger bounced out on them on the fly. He's like, I'm tired of this shit. I ain't firing Kennedy. Somebody else gonna do it. I don't want my name being smeared all over this. I already confessed at the altar of Lucas in my book, so I already fucked up there. So you know what? I'm getting out of here. God bless and good night. Fuck all of y'all. He's gone.
But Abu, they didn't have a bunch of novels or comics to work off of. Remember?
Oh no, they had nothing.
Yeah.
They had absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And it's hard. It's hard coming up with good stories. when you
It's
don't have any of
hard.
that.
Yes, it's hard work.
And you know what the sad thing is? Somebody trying to argue with me that what you need the books to expand on the story. I said, dumbass, no, you don't. The prequels novels came out before the movie. They didn't need to explain everything. Once you saw the movies, it only enhanced it. You know, the Phantom Menace had has a good enough backstory, but it didn't really expand on the things that the whatchamacallit, the Trade Federation, and where they came from and how did they lead up to getting to Naboo to start the blockade. We had to wait for James Luceno to do the Darth Plagueis novel to get all of that good shit. Now, once he connected the dots, it made The Phantom Menace even more of a great film to me, because now I could look at it and say, I already know where the Trade Federation came from now. I already know why they went to Naboo and did the blockade. I already know what was going on with how the pod race is set up by the Hutts cartel and the other cartels that was bidden for Darth Plagueis to fund them to do their thing. I know all of that now. Now I can enjoy the movie knowing that the EU gives us great, rich backstories before and a little bit after. But the way Disney doing it, they doing it so half-assed that they wouldn't have put all of that shit in the Rise of Skywalker novel. Had everybody and their mama loved it. Oh, we love Papa Palpatine being a clone. Oh, the Reylo kiss was just perfect. Oh man, him turning to Ben and dying was heroic. Oh, Han Solo coming in as a Force ghost to touch Kylo and recreate the Force Awakens scene again was great. Nah, they wouldn't have done none of that. When we started pointing out their errors, when we actually had evidence to the fact that they fucked up, gave them their own canon comic book to show them where they fucked up. Now all of a sudden here come the novels that just try to play clean up. Too little, too late. You know, the fans ain't stupid, and that's what they was really thinking. They was really thinking we was stupid enough to just go along with this madness.
Why do I
Look
feel
at
an Abu Nas rhyme coming on?
You know what? I wish, because I caught this on the fly right here, so I turned everything off, my computer and everything else.
Bummer!
I know. Actually, when I come on your channel, Tom, I'm gonna have something nice and special for you, man.
You really got to put some of those together, truly put them together, I'll show. If you don't know, I'll show you some production techniques to help you do that, make them sound good.
Oh no, duh. I'd take any and all advice I can get.
It sounds like your music's fine. You just need to work on a mic or an area where you ain't got so much echo or something like that, and record and do voices and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem with that is in my apartment, it's a lot of space, and even though I have my Yeti mic and everything, and I plug up the thing. For some reason, the music comes out better when I have everything, I guess, situated the way Chris from the real I forgot.
Chris Knight.
Chris Knight.
Yeah, Chris Knight.
Yeah.
He helped me actually set everything up when I first got my Yeti, and like I said, whenever I'm doing the stuff for Dark Council or even John Talks, I try not to do it all the time, but like I said, people that have been supporting me for a long time, at least I could come on they stream and just bless them at least once or what have you. But I like the music to be more dominant than anything, even though my voice can project. But I want
Well,
people
yeah,
to
when you're
feel
doing
the
it
music
live,
more.
it's a little different than when you're recording, though. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I mean.
Oh yes,
Exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
like you could actually, if you got like not a heavy blanket, but like a thick blanket, like and
I
put
do
that
have
over
that.
top of you when you're recording, like for an actual like nice recording, that'll help with the
Oh.
bouncing. And then
Okay.
headphones are always important, of course, when you're recording as well. But yeah, obviously been much different setup than when you're live, but we can talk
Yes,
about it
yes.
some other time. Yeah.
Oh yes, and definitely remind me about that. But yeah, Tom, I'm looking forward to coming back on your channel. It's just I've just been bouncing all over the place, and this coronavirus thing has got my job messed up because my office is shut down right now.
I hear
and
you, man.
they doing a
Hopefully
whole
they're
suite.
still paying you.
Yeah, they are.
Good. I'm glad
So
to hear
I'm
that.
off. Yeah, I'm off for a whole week, full pay. So I'm good. So I'm just gonna take advantage of this. Probably do a video myself because I haven't done a video on my channel in a while. And as I was telling the guys before you got here, I got into some Twitter beef, and I actually wanted to make a video today on it, but I got caught up with some other stuff, and I've been in and out of my house. And I said, you know what? I'll save it for the Dark Council tomorrow because I spent most of my late afternoon and evening putting music and stuff together for our show tomorrow. So I'm gonna burn the house down tomorrow night. So that's why I try to tell people, since I'm home, I'm gonna be first up the deck, and I'm gonna be screaming on these people on Twitter that was getting on my nerve, including Homegirl that doing that Rise of Skywalker novel that's a complete shite. So I'm not sparing nobody, and getting their feelings, they're getting their feelings. I'm just waiting for the trolls to be in the chat because I'm daring them. I'm daring them to come in here and act a fool so I can just take them apart one by one.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Time is saying, oh man, it's after 1. I need to get my ass in the bed.
Yeah, it's after midnight for me. I need to do the same thing myself.
Yeah, I've been streaming now for about
Tom, you have
8
just
hours.
been like a machine, man. A machine, I tell you.
Streaming ain't that big of a deal compared to some of the other shit I do.
Hey,
I need to borrow your batteries out your backpack, man. Give me some energy.
I actually did an unusual thing. I went outside and went to the store and picked up some groceries I ordered online.
Oh,
And,
word?
the sun was shining, 54 degrees, and it felt like it was 60 degrees outside. Beautiful.
Oh man, damn, that's crazy.
Here in Western Washington, when it's sunny out, and
Yes,
it's this
sir.
time of year in winter, it's cold. Because we like our rain. The reason we like our rain, because it's warm when it's raining. When that cloud cover's over, it stays between 45 to 55 degrees when it's raining.
That's what's up.
And it can kind of feel kind of cold when it's raining like that, but it's not as cold when that clouds go away. And then it's 37 degrees at night.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's in the low 20s. Oh shit, I gotta take out my garbage. Damn, I just remembered that. Garbage night. And pick up that shit tomorrow morning. Shit, I'm paying $40.
You reminded me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I pay $40 for my garbage, man. That they need to pick my shit up.
Yeah, I already took all my stuff out already.
Yep. But gentlemen, this has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, especially since I caught this like last minute. Hopefully I ain't run my mouth too much, man, and bore everybody.
Well, we give you carte blanche, whether it's my channel or the fellas in the fourth wave.
Listen, I'm grateful, man. Like I said, carte blanche doesn't come easy, and if I'm worthy enough to it, trust me, I am humbled and grateful by it. That's all I can say.
I once told you always got an invitation.
Thank you, brother. Truly appreciate it. One of these days, I gotta get all y'all guys on my channel, including you, Tom. Yeah, you only been on there like real quick during my 2-year anniversary, and you was
Well,
in
one
your
of these
car
days I
video.
got to get you on Need too, and I mean I seen you in the chat earlier tonight, but of course we were full up. But yeah, one of these nights where I felt bad for Comix Division a little bit because Robert comes out and he just kind of takes over, and because we love him and we just let him kind of talk. And
Robert's great, man.
He
Robert's
knows
great.
everything though.
He
Like
does.
I said, I mean every time he starts a story, I'm expecting him to go, well, in between earning the Nobel
Wait a
Peace
minute.
Prize, inventing the question mark, and starting the revolution, I was making a movie.
Do I
He's
know
done
Robert?
everything. Robert Meyer Burnett, yeah, he's just been everywhere and done everything.
Oh,
It's
wait
crazy,
a minute.
know?
Is that the guy that rolls with that bastard Campia?
Yeah, but see, he's the thing. He's one of us, so don't worry about it.
All right, because I don't want to. Because if I scream on Campy, I ain't gonna get. If that's your boy, and tell your boy to get the soy out his ass.
I ain't Campy pretends like he doesn't think we exist.
Playing himself.
Oh,
I
hell
mean,
yeah.
he's still king of the shows, and I
I
put
just
him on
happened.
blast every
This
time
is
I
funny
can.
you mentioned that because I happened to click one day on the very few days I happened to click on one of his shows. So I used to check. Well, I used to check once in a while to see if Robert was on. If Robert was on, I'd watch. But it just happened to be one day I click on and somebody said something about Midnight's Edge in one of the super chats because of course those are the only super chats he answered.
It's
He's like,
war, baby.
he's like, I've never heard of them. Sorry. And then like the next day, or it may have even been later that night, Robert just happened to be on one of our streams, and I told him that just before the show, and he's like, "Oh, he's so full of shit."
Oh man, especially when he has his little cardboard studio, man. Oh, how the mighty have fallen, man. Since the Collider days, you was king of the mountain. Now look at you, relevant as fuck. But so good though.
Well, we know for a fact he went on and he super chat. What was it at Anna? Wasn't it? I think it was. Campia did one time.
No, I think it was Jeremy. Was it Jeremy?
He might have done it to Jeremy too, but
okay.
I know he's done it to Anna, I think, as well. Well, him and Jeremy was always giving him shit, so I don't know if he would acknowledge Jeremy.
He has to now. He passed him in subs.
Well, I know we used to joke with him all the time about that. How humble he was that he wouldn't bring up that he has more subs than John Campia, of course.
Yeah.
You know what? He better than me. I would have said, "Yeah, Campia, that's why I got more subs than you, bitch."
Well, that's pretty much what he was saying. He's just doing it in his Jeremy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit is hilarious.
But we need people like Campio. You want to know why? Because we need people like him to keep reminding us that our job is not done yet. And you got shills and soy drinking bastards doing a Jake Skywalker.
Come on, why do you think that Collider quit doing all their live shows?
Because we was in the building. The Phantom Menace community was in the building, baby.
You're right. Because we drove them out.
Us.
Nobody watched them no more. Nobody took them seriously. And Harloff blew the lid off that thing when he's like, for 5 fucking years.
I know. That was the crowning achievement. Shout out to Film Gob. He totally clowned them kids. And the whole thing with the Snyder cut, the whole bit. But you know what? He had it coming. And now somebody said, "Oh, they was calling me a shill." That's exactly what you was, dummy. Everybody knew it. So now he had to admit to it. Shit, we all knew. Did you see that infamous Denny's? They was all in Denny, him, Harloff before. Was it Solo that was coming out? They was in Denny's. Doing a live stream. I'm talking about promoting the fuck out of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Solo.
Did they get a Therm Thunder Punch or whatever the fuck his name was cup while they were there? Therm Scissor Punch?
I literally looked at that live stream. I was like, how the fuck did we come to this, man? They barely was talking about the movie the way that a real, I guess, pundit should be talking about the movie. They was doing product placements. This one.
Well, it's like trying to tell somebody to say nice things about AIDS.
Oh my God, the way they was pouring the syrup and then they was eating, and I'm looking at I couldn't believe I was sitting up there looking at this
after a while,
live
you're
stream.
just sitting there going, well, we got to talk about the movie. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
AIDS does kill some people that I'm sure that are bad.
I said,
at some point, somebody who's a bad guy got AIDS. That's one good thing AIDS did.
Oh my God. That was just a travesty in the making, but still they kept on rolling. Now look what happened. Fandom Menace came in, and now we're not a vocal minority. We're mainstream. J.J. Abrams mentioned us.
Yep.
Another news outlet mentioned us. So we all over the place. Now we're superstars, but we
Yep.
got to keep it. We got to keep it gully. We can't rest on our laurels. That nobody's not, trying to come over to Abu Nas. Hey, Abu Nas, I would like for you to sponsor us, and and we'll do some product placements and stuff, and just talk about how good our movie is. I'm like, fuck all of y'all. I'm up here doing what I need to do to give people the truth. I'm not a corporate butt muncher. I don't kiss ass. I don't even kiss enough ass for myself. So sorry, I can't help you. I
It's
know
like-
the money's good, but nah, I got
like
my
if-
integrity.
If you want to pay me to be truthful, sure.
Yeah, give me the money, man. I'll tell it like it is. I'll tell your wife she's a gorilla if I know she looked like a gorilla and you pay me for it. Shit. Dump that zero, get with a hero. But if anything, it just goes to show that if you love if you love the movies that fueled your imagination as a child, you don't want nobody stepping all over it for no reason at all. And that's exactly what Disney fake Lucasfilm did. And then that shit spilled over to Star Trek. And then that shit spilled over to Doctor Who. It was like every major franchise that has years of service is being attacked and systematically destroyed. And there's no other way around it. So we have to take it upon ourselves to bring it back to where it belongs. The new kids are never, ever going to roll our way, but we're not concerned about you. As long as us boomers, us old people are alive, this is going to be in your face 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we open through Hanukkah and motherfreaking Christmas. Sorry. It is what it is.
I had a boomer moment with my first ever Twitch stream today.
Wow. This just coming across a couple hours ago. Apple could acquire Disney amid stock drop. From the Hollywood Reporter. Yeah, no, I didn't.
Hollywood Reporter. Wow.
That's why we were talking about it before you jumped on. Actually, it was before
sorry.
we were live.
What? This is the first time I'm hearing it.
I mean, I've heard
Here,
rumors
I'll
and
send you
other
the link.
conjecture and bullshit before, but this is the first time I've ever seen a reputable entertainment source saying anything like this.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, this is actually from CBR, but I dropped it in the private chat.
Yeah, but I see the THR one right here. Yeah.
Wow. Apple could actually buy Disney?
Yeah, their stock is like dropped hardcore.
Yeah, because they fucked up everything. See, like
Well, that and the
it was like
coronavirus,
Bear
it's
said.
Well, yeah,
tempting.
and that didn't help. Yeah.
Sorry, beer bug. God damn it, keep doing
Well,
that.
Apple's flush with cash too, right? They don't have any debt. They've
Oh
got a
fuck
ton-
yes! If Apple wanted to take over Hollywood right now, they could single-handedly buy up every single studio and television company and still have money left over for candy.
Nice. Nice. But you don't want to, but obviously you're not going to buy Disney knowing that they're going to have all these failed, because like I said, that Marvel Phase 4 is going to be a failed project.
Well, doesn't
I'm
Apple
telling you.
already have stock in Disney because of Steve Jobs?
You
I have
know what?
no
I think
idea.
you might be right.
with Pixar.
Yeah, and so I think that's what it could be. I think what they're insinuating is it could be a hostile takeover if Apple wanted to.
No wonder Bob Iger said, "You know what? I'm out."
You know what I'm talking about? I haven't seen this in a while, but this used to happen all the time back in the 80s and 90s and shit. These hostile takeovers where
Yeah, I
when
remember that.
yeah, where a company's stock would go low and some other company would just come in and buy up all the stock.
Yep.
Oh,
Happened
and
a lot
then
in
they
the
would
80s.
effectively be the boss.
Yep.
Okay.
I could see that. I could
And
see
A-
that. Well, Disney had it coming to them. Nobody told them to fuck up the franchise that couldn't be fucked. Nobody told you to do that. Somebody told you to honor the man that gave you the company, and you ain't really had to do nothing. You could have used all the treasure trove books to view your movies because the 18 to 25-year-olds wasn't reading the goddamn books in the first place. So it would have been new movies to them. For the rest of us, it's an adaptation, and we would have rolled with it because it would have been live. And seeing our hero Luke Skywalker in the flesh doing real Grandmaster Jedi shit, not Mary Ray Sue shit. But look, that ship has sailed, right?
Damn.
So yeah, Apple,
Holy shit.
Apple, take it over. Take it over,
Okay,
Apple.
their stock was at $150 and it's now down to $95.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
And
I
this
know somebody who
happens-
actually has some Disney stock. I'll ask them what they think about it. and
So
get
in
it
the
out.
Hopefully
last
they
3
ain't jumping out the
months-
window.
No,
Yeah.
they don't own a shit ton, but enough to where they get like the letters and all that kind of stuff. I'm
Okay.
little privy to some of the stuff, but if you heard that corporate fucking meeting they had posted on the Disney website, they feed their stockholders full of the same bullshit they do us.
Yeah. But
Okay.
mid-February it was at $140 a share, and as of today, it's $95.01.
Ooh.
That's a big drop.
Yes.
Now, do you guys think though, without the coronavirus, had Frozen done better for them than they had planned, and Star Wars done better for them than they had planned, that they would have been in better shape? Because otherwise, honestly, this is what's fucked up about this. Without Star Wars, they still had the biggest movie ever in history for movies last year. Disney did. They made more money than any studio did in history.
Yeah. Well, they basically had all the fucking movies. That's why.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So even though that's the fucked up part, is even in a year with all these big hits like Endgame and all that shit,
Yeah.
and Lion King,
it's gonna dry up though. I think this year, and even without coronavirus, I think was gonna be a piss poor year for Disney, because what do they have?
I can't believe that would make. Here's my thing though. I'm just looking at this like I'm thinking back to '94, 93 when Jurassic Park came out for Universal. Nobody could have touched Universal.
Mm-hmm.
They were as powerful as can be.
They have 2 movies this year: Black
Right,
Widow and
Fox.
Eternals.
Fox was another one for a while there, especially after the prequels and some other things. Nobody could touch Fox. They were on top of the block.
Yeah.
Disney finally made their 1-2 punch comeback. But I can't believe in a year after they've hit the highest number any studio's ever hit, they're still doing this bad in the stock. Is it really because of Star Wars? Do you guys
They lit
Yes,
their
it is.
franchises on fire,
Yes, it is.
though. That's
That's
why.
what I'm saying. Do you
that-
guys really think that's the effect it's had over?
I think it's multiple things.
I-
I think it's a lot of bad timing because of the coronavirus, and I think it's because they fucked up. Star
Right.
Wars.
I'm trying to
time.
say if they wouldn't. That's what I'm trying to say is they should have been able to weather this. Is my point. Like
They did.
do you really think it's the failure of Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars that did this?
All of it.
It's a
All of
perfect
it.
storm of the parks and what's happened with Star Wars and the fraud.
Well, and Pixar too took a big fucking nosedive since they kicked out Lasseter. Let's face it, everything sucked from Pixar since then.
Basically, I think if this.
Oh, Lasseter is gone?
Oh yeah, they Me Too'd his ass out the building over some fucking hugs.
Oh my God.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No,
I know.
no, I
No.
do
Wow.
remember that. I do remember
Yeah, what it
that.
really was about had nothing to do with that so much as it was a few young fucking women who thought they knew better and they were pissy that they had a white man for a boss, so they got his ass out of there. That's really what it was, and I'm not going to candy coat it anymore.
No,
No,
this is
I
fucking true.
remember you
Neither
guys
am I.
talking about the Lasseter thing. I did watch that video.
Because I've done
That's
some deep
crazy.
digging. I have yet to find anything where he's done anything more than that. And it's because these women felt like they didn't get their just dues that they went after him. And it's like, well, it's the proof is in the pudding. Fucking their movies have sucked ever since. So
Guess we should thank those women for exposing themselves in a way in which you had talent, you got rid of it. This is what you get. When people lose money, thank these bimbos for having their feelings hurt, and they wanted to get their revenge. But the whole Me Too movement now is a fucking joke.
because they looked at it as it was a white man telling them that their idea wasn't good enough, instead of looking at it as, oh, this guy's been in the industry for 30 years. Maybe I should listen to what he has to fucking say.
How about follow the talent and
Yeah.
not the people that think they know better?
Yep.
Talent speaks first.
It really pisses me
doesn't.
off. Sorry.
Nobody cares about talent anymore.
Because John Lasseter was a fucking god. I'm sorry. When it came, he came in and single-handedly saved animation. Period. If it wasn't for John Lasseter, we would not have animated movies anymore. Probably they would have gone to the wayside. I bet.
Now that's it tells you something, because money has been made behind the animation. So, because you're right.
Well, think
Outside of
about
the
it.
Frozen-
When Pixar came along, and when Toy Story came out, Disney sucked. They couldn't get a 2D animation movie to fucking make money to save their lives.
Mhm.
and they fired everybody in 2D animation. It was dead. And if it wasn't for Pixar, 3D animation would have never took off. Because everybody said nobody's going to want to sit there and watch plastic shit for an hour and a half.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So Lasseter's
so
like,
much.
you know what? We'll fucking do it. We'll make people fall in love with these characters, and we did.
I guess in a way they kind of do look like plastic a little bit.
Well, especially
About it
back
that
in
way.
the day, and you know, and Comix Division's not wrong. I mean, that was an absolutely legitimate argument against going against doing any kind of CGI animation at that time because it was not up to snuff. And looking at it, if you look at anything that's pre Toy Story or pre Jurassic Park, it looks like shit. Let's face it, it looks like shit.
It really does.
So that it just wasn't up to par at that point. And in that period, we had some very smart people with a lot of money make shit happen, like George Lucas and Steve Jobs and quite a few other people like that. Yeah.
I wish I could go back to a simpler time when stories and diversity was never forced. Everything was natural. You know, I can understand Star Wars not having a black person, but I didn't think of it at the time because we were kids.
Come on, we're 2 weeks away from hashtag Toy Story so white. What are you talking about?
You're right, dude. You're right.
Yep.
God, it just would have been so
Speaking of
simple.
Toy Story.
Yeah, I think with Disney and what they've done with Star Wars and just some of the problems they've been having with their Star Wars Galaxy, and I think the current situation that the world's in right now with this beer virus, I think basically it was like a shot of steroids laced with poison. And I think this probably would have happened about 8-9 months from now. And I think it just kind of sped up the process.
You're probably not wrong. I mean, I guess Star Wars and somewhat the animation could have damaged the product. Because obviously you can't blame it on Marvel. Marvel's making a money hand and fist regardless. Whoa, we lost Abu Nas.
Whoops. Normally when that happens, it's the back button on my mouse I hit.
He must have... Well, hopefully he's just having some issues and he comes back real quick. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be because of the parks and because of the performance of Star Wars. I can't, and maybe it's because of the money they sunk into Disney Plus. That could be it too.
And they had to do something, you know, because the parks was trash. You know, people pretty much either boycotted it or they saw the reviews, you know, either from one of us in the community or somebody else that said, listen, this Disney Galaxy's Edge wasn't even all that.
And it's funny this comes down like just a couple weeks after the Bob Iger business too.
And that's probably why Bob Iger got out too. So he got out at the right time.
Well, I
this
figured
shit is going to shit now.
Yeah, I figured the reason why he ended up stepping down was because of the whole thing with Rise of Skywalker at this point. I mean, he was supposed to retire in a year at the end of this year.
All the momentum kept coming because they did the half-ass movie, and all the problems that plagued the entire production was plain to see. And then on top of that, when he betrayed George Lucas in the book, all of these things, there's a domino effect because the real fans finally saw what all of this was from the very beginning, a fucking cash grab. That's all it was. Nobody was thinking about the fans. Nobody was thinking about the integrity and how he was talking about we're going to produce movies that shows the beauty of the Star Wars franchise as everybody envisioned and loved it. No, he didn't. It was basically get the stockholders their money on the nose. No JJ, you and Lars Kasdan ain't gonna have that extra time to write. We need it now. Get the return on the investment. And then it would just snowball into Ryan Johnson telling Kennedy, I want to make my own movie and not be beholden to what came before it. After they did billions of interviews talking about they was all on the same page, and look what happened. So now the whole shitstorm finally came to a head when JJ was brought back to do something that was never done before, to try to retcon some of the shit Ryan Johnson did that nobody wanted to fucking admit they was doing, but they did it anyway. And now it still was shit, because now they had to pretty much they had conflicts with stuff that they was putting in the comics, and nobody did no research. Not a damn person did any research whatsoever. And then by the time it was over, JJ said, you know what? If you didn't like the movie, The Phantom Menace was right. If you liked the movie, God bless you and good night.
Yep, that's the best way to put it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what Disney did is they stuck their finger up their ass, and then they said, "Here, this is Star Wars. It's good."
Yeah.
You need to write that down, Abu Nas. That's the end of a song right there.
They stuck their finger up their ass looking for the pulse of the community.
At the end of it all, JJ said, if you fan the Menace, you right. And if you love the movie, good bless you, good night.
And he
Write
ran
that
his
down.
ass to Warner Brothers. Yep, he ran his ass to Warner Brothers real quick. I can't blame him. I can't blame JJ, because they did him dirty. But you know, JJ, you deserve that shit too, with all the shit you were saying about, oh, we sexist and misogynist, we hate women characters, and you set yourself up for that. So I don't got not a lot of sympathy.
Oh,
for
I
you,
can't
Bob.
wait for the blame game to start once all the NDAs dry up.
Hey,
Mm.
you know the old saying,
John
man.
John Big Dick Boyega is just having a ball trolling these people.
He is.
Hard.
Oh my god, that's so
Hard.
hilarious. Whenever I
Oh
see
my
that shit.
God, just making him mad. And he's picking up Instagram thoughts on the side while he's doing it. That's big dick energy right there. Good
That's
for him.
hilarious.
Good for him. Yeah, no NDA no more. He said, yo, when it's over, I'm going to have a lot to say. We didn't pick up on it. And I said to myself, damn, man, you hang out with Mark Hamill. I know Mark Hamill pulled you to the side like, yo, they doing me dirty, man. They
Who
doing
the
me
fuck
so
do you
dirty.
think I am, Brie? You ain't gonna Disney Plus me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Daisy really done
I'll
with
help you
this
write
shit.
some rhymes. There you go.
All right,
I'm pretty
gents,
sure.
I gotta bail. I need to get some sleep.
Yeah, 1:35. You know what? This is such a live stream. This has been so much fun. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Because this has been. I'm already awake now. Now I'm not even tired, because I'm just so full of energy now to know what I'm going to do with the Dark Council tomorrow. So yeah, it's gonna be a barn burner.
Oh, we can go until the wheels fall off.
Yep.
Well, my ass
All
was
right.
up to 3 a.m. yesterday trying to fall asleep, and now I'm ready to drop dead.
Comic, am I following you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I follow you.
I should be following. Well, if I'm not following you, I'm gonna take care of that now. So I'm gonna take care of that now. But yeah, man. So me and you may need to link up at some point.
Yeah, for sure, man.
All right.
I think we're mutually subbed on YouTube. Maybe I don't know. I know I'm subbed. To you.
I sub to you as well. So we should be. So it's just pretty much Twitter. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, my old ass. I remembering shit is becoming such a chore. That's why Tom is writing all my lyrics for me now.
Yeah, dude, I feel your pain, man. I'm getting up there too.
Yeah, so you know, I need more chicks in my life. But other than that, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I will check y'all guys later. Have a great night.
All right.
Yeah,
Night,
you're
everyone.
right.
Take care.
Thanks for stopping
Take
by.
care, guys.
See you guys.
Yeah, I'll
What did
probably
I
check
miss?
out pretty soon, but I'll stick around for a little bit and say hi to Wes.
Oh, hey, Tom. Yeah, I'll probably be taking off like in the next half hour or so, but I'll catch up on. So what did I miss?
Well, we're hearing that there's a plausibility of Apple taking over Disney.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, they really could with all the cash they've got.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Man, I wonder how artistically things would change with Apple taking over Disney.
Well, basically,
Things
got
will
a
probably
little-
be
I
more
got a little-
expensive.
what's that, CJ?
Things will probably be more expensive.
Possibly.
Is that him crackling or is that my headphones?
I think that's him.
Okay, so I'm not the only one hearing it. All right. Because my headphones are kind of bad, so I just want to make
Plus,
sure.
he's on the West Coast in Canada, up
Oh,
north,
Canada.
And there's a little bit of a delay for some reason, and yeah, east. Why did I say west? East. I'm backwards. What can I say? But yeah, basically, a sign to look for if Disney starts selling their physical properties, or if they sell some of the companies they own. Like for instance, example, Fox, 20th Century Fox. If they decide to sell it, then you'll know things will be bad.
Are you meaning to share your Twitter private messaging right now?
No, I wasn't. I was trying to share the one thing I didn't realize it was on.
Oh,
Twitter.
whoops, sorry. Oh, I didn't
That's
know.
all
who
right.
was
It's
sharing
nothing
it.
that bad in there. It's just yeah.
No, there wasn't. I just wanted to.
Hey,
No,
I
I'm
wasn't sure
sorry
if
about
Bear
that.
was doing it or not.
No,
I was
that
like,
was
yeah,
me.
let's get Anti-Trekker on the show. That'd be great.
No, that was me. No, sorry. He wanted to come on
hey,
earlier. I missed it.
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't mean to do that, but yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
No, Okay, so you have the Drekkies that defend it, and they're like, "You suck. You're racist."
I shared the wrong one. That's why. I see that.
So, and Anti-Trekker has me
That
believing stuff. He makes such a good argument for.
This is the one I meant to share. Was the Hollywood Reporter one.
Oh, whoops! Disregard that, chat. Didn't see anything.
No big deal. Nothing in there to see. I have a very uneventful life.
Don't we all? That was somewhat disturbing. That
Did
giant
you just
Donald Duck.
give the definition of what a parent is?
Right? Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta love kids, man. I love my kids.
There you go. Apple could look to acquire Disney amid stock drop, analyst says.
Wow.
I know they give it another week or two, they might be able to get even more of a discount.
Because of all of this stuff, I can't find any information on whether they own stock in Disney or not. Because normally, if this wasn't happening, I'd be able to find it. But this is clogging all the search results.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they do.
I thought so too.
Because as far as I know, they own the most stock in Disney besides George Lucas. Like they own the most stock, and then George Lucas is next. Because he's the most. He owns like the most for a person, a living entity. I think if I remember, that's how they put it.
Just think if George Lucas bought Disney. Just think of that. If he decided, I'm going to buy Disney. Call that the revenge of George Lucas. That'd be
I hope they buy it and they sell everything off.
I don't think they'll do that. They'll want to beef up Apple.
Marvel is stable enough to go on its own, I think.
But they won't want to do that. They'll want to keep everything, and they'll probably expand if anything, and they'll want to do it for their streaming shit. Because Apple will want to come in as a fucking black horse in this race, and everybody's gonna be like, "Whoa, where did Apple come from?" Because they've got everything now. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, our intellectual property laws, they keep moving the goalposts on how long, copyright holder before it becomes public domain.
Oh yeah, and I brought this up on a recent stream, and somebody said the same thing I was trying to say, and it was, I think they'll push it again. This time they'll try and use Mickey as their logo. So they'll argue, oh, it's our corporate logo, so we can't let that go, kind of thing, and they'll find a loophole, and they'll save all their characters that way. They'll try and say that they're all logos of Disney or something like that, and they'll find some way to work around it. You watch. They do every time.
Use some shenanery. Being tricky and just changing things, and when basically it should have the copyrights for it should have ended a long time ago.
Oh yeah, this goes all the way back to like the 70s when they originally were going to go up.
Yeah, can't have that. But yeah, I have used altered Mickey Mouse stuff, and I always made sure I had the fair use down there and listed who the owner was and stuff like that.
Yeah, it don't matter. They don't care.
Yeah, I put that, man, for my last Star Trek Picard reaction, I had a fair use disclaimer. I had a fair use disclaimer on the clip, and they still hit me for a copyright, blocked on mobile devices and all that bullshit.
Right.
They do it every single time, no matter how long the clip is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've
I mean, I know
never.
that's not Disney, but I mean the copyright system.
Did you use actual moving clips?
Yes.
It's probably why. Because
Well, I mean, it's fair use.
Yeah, I've never actually used any moving clips. I've always used still images.
YouTube and them don't care. You'll get away with usually get away with still images, but I've even had the rare occasion where those will get flagged.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to video, my only suggestion to anybody who's doing YouTube is, I know from somebody I talked at Warner Brothers, they will flag trailers every time because they're watermarked. So if you're going to use footage, try to use regular footage and no more than 8 to 10 seconds. And CBS and Paramount are some of the worst. They will flag everything.
I have so many copyright claims. It's not even fun.
And if you can get away with it, the best thing to do is re-edit the scene. If you got a 10-second scene or whatever, just re-edit it a little bit. If you get a little creative, you can kind of make it flow without anybody knowing you've cut anything out, and then it won't trigger the bots as much.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to strike my channel. I had to fight that, and I got the strike removed. But still, I mean,
Yeah, strikes are worse than claims. Strikes are hard to get rid of.
Well, I used Lakota sending song per song, and the owner of the song claimed the song, but I didn't get a strike because I said it was for.
Well, claiming won't do anything to you, but you'll lose your monetization on it usually.
Right.
Strikes are against your channel.
And you see, I know the owner of that song. I know he walks the red road, same as me, and I put in that this is a prayer. And I think because I was so respectful in the way that I did it, he just claimed the song, and that was it. I didn't get an actual strike or anything like that. He just claimed it, and it doesn't do anything other than if it starts pulling in revenue, the revenue will go to the owner. And I don't mind that because it was for a good cause. It was someone that left this world that was special to the fandom Menace. And I'm not gonna name who that was because in Native way it's traditional not to say their name for a year, and I wouldn't want to call that spirit back and disrupt it. That's just the way it's done that way. When we lose people for a year, their name won't be said. It's tradition. But yeah.
I got a copyright claim on. I was doing a Let's Play of the original Castlevania, and some indie rock band copyright claimed part of the Castlevania soundtrack and said that was their song, right? And then it named what they thought the song was from, and I played it, and it's not even remotely similar to it. I don't understand YouTube and their copyright system. It's ridiculous.
So basically, it was an automated bot and all that, and tried to claim it, or was it manual?
Let me look. Hold on, I'll look here. I'm not even sure. It's still. I don't know if I won that one or not. I fight every single one of them, and I usually win every single one of them too. It just, I mean, if I were monetized, if it takes you 15, 20 days to get it overturned, that's not going to do me any good. But I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter to me now. But
oh wow, Universal's gonna release new movies, including The Invisible Man on demand amid coronavirus outbreak. Films will be available to rent on Comcast, Apple, Amazon, and other services beginning Friday. Wow.
Movies that haven't been
Invisible Man, which is in theaters now, Emma, The Hunt, will all be available on Friday. The biggest one being The Invisible Man, it looks like. So interesting.
Very. I wonder if they're gonna cut the cost and help folks out.
Well, these are already movies that have been in theaters, so they've gotten some of their money back. Man, like I said, the Invisible Man one's the newest one. But yeah, since they're not going to be able to make their money back on that one, it'll be interesting to see how many more take that route as we go on, because the theaters are not going to want that to happen because they're losing out on their revenue too. Right. So we'll see how long this lasts in that respect. But that is kind of surprising that they're putting that movie out already this Friday.
Wow, that's amazing.
So this is what they nabbed me for. Heart of Fire is what it says. Heart of Fire by CD Baby Sync Publishing.
Wow.
Never heard of them. But if you look up Heart of Fire, it sounds nothing like the Castlevania background music.
You know, believe it or not, I used to, I can't remember which version of it. I used to play Castlevania. It was a pretty kick-ass game, I gotta say.
Yeah.
That was back in, I think that was 2000 maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was,
Was it Symphony of the Night?
Oh, it was old. It was either a PS1 game or a PS2. I used to play that game a lot.
What was it? The one where you're playing as the long-haired dude with the cape?
Yes.
That was Symphony of the Night. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and the reason why, long white hair and a cape. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Good game.
Yeah, it's a very long game.
Yes, it is. It I don't think I ever beat it. I was still going through levels. I don't even remember how many levels it has.
A lot. And then you have to go through the castle upside down. Yeah.
What stage of the game is that? I think I got to that point.
It's hidden. Supposedly you have to do something specific to get to the castle upside down. But
well, apparently I did it by accident because I don't remember any of that stuff.
I don't either. It's such a long game. I don't remember any of that stuff either.
Because, in games, I would just wander around a little bit and look around, because there's stuff to find. It's not just the game and the shooter, it's just sometimes there's cool little things to find. And sometimes what I love doing is I love looking for bugs in the game to see where I can go through a wall and stuff like that. One time I got stuck.
Yeah.
But some games, sometimes you can find little holes here and there. And sometimes there's things in those little holes, little Easter egg thing or whatever,
Yep.
That's what's cool about games and all that. I can remember when basically PS1 came out. And you remember when Sega Genesis came out with a disc system when they first came out with it? I believe
Sega CD.
Yeah.
Sega CD.
I remember that.
Yeah, well, do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, basically, and this is basically, I think it's how it came about. It's been a long time since I read about it, but I think it was some of the creators with Sega CD got pissed off at Sega, and so they went to Sony and they created the Sony PlayStation. I think that's how that happened, but it's been so long since I've read that story. I could be misremembering.
No, you're thinking of Nintendo, the Famicom discs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then they went with
That's it.
They went with Panasonic instead. Made a deal at the weekend they were supposed to make the announcement. So they're like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers!" and they went and made the PlayStation.
That was it.
Yep.
Told you I misremember things, from years ago.
But yeah, the Sega CD, I think that was just it was just an add-on to the Genesis. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with
I had one.
Yeah, I think
Pretty cool.
I'm trying to remember. I think what killed that more so is that it actually kind of killed between that and the Saturn. I'm trying to remember if they released anything between the two.
Oh, Saturn. I vaguely remember that.
Because the Saturn was supposed to be their answer to the PlayStation, and it didn't do well.
Yeah, it ended up being like the PlayStation 3 that had some really weird architecture to program for, I think is what was going on with the Saturn.
Who came up with the Dreamcast? I remember the Dreamcast.
That was Sega also. Yeah, they should
Sega?
have come up with the Dreamcast instead of the Saturn. It's what it sounds like. Yeah, I think
remember
I
when
think
all
that
that stuff was brand new coming out.
yeah, I think a lot of the development team for the Dreamcast actually ended up working on the original Xbox, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly, yeah. Because I was gonna say it wasn't.
I
The,
remember-
yeah, because the Dreamcast was after the Saturn, right? If I remember
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that would have been their trying to coming to the PlayStation 2 era and Xbox era.
Mhm.
So-
They had built-in Ethernet port and all that stuff. They were kind of ahead of their time for what they were. Dreamcast was.
Actually, there's some pretty good videos. I think like Video Game Historian and a few others do some really good videos on the whole history of all that shit. So
the AVGN actually did a pretty humorous video on the Genesis with both the CD and the 32X add-on. I guess
the 32X was a fucking joke.
yeah.
I don't even remember 32X.
All that was a stupid fucking add-on they had, and they claimed it made your games 32-bit, but none of the games were 32-bit. It was a bunch of horse shit.
I remember Game Genie. Remember Game Genie?
I
Yeah.
remember it, but I didn't use it. I didn't like cheating. So
Well, it was a thing. I was a teenager. I used it.
I think that was one of the first times like Nintendo and them tried to sue an outside like for somebody else for creating something because they didn't have the patent thing on it to where they didn't have to, because everything else that if you created a secondhand controller for Nintendo, you still had to pay them for the patent and shit back in the day. But I think the Game Genie people got around it, and there was this big old like lawsuit over it and shit, and then they won. So not Nintendo, the Galoob or whoever it was that got sued over it.
yeah, they had the special chip that for all the consoles
Yeah.
only Nintendo had, and
Yeah, because they were trying to argue that because of that they were owed, the patent fees or whatever, and they ended up winning from what I remember. That because they had to retroactively figure out how to get around that chip system or whatever it was.
yeah. Yeah, I guess there's also a lawsuit. There were these like Bible games. People were making Bible games for the Nintendo, and Nintendo wouldn't license them because of their ban on religious icons, at least in the United States.
Well, that really stems from there was a short. See, Nintendo would short the other third-party licensees' carts because that was how Nintendo did their shit back then. Because they had a special chip in the carts that if they weren't Nintendo carts, they weren't working the machine. So another couple companies figured out how to get around them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was the companies you're talking about. So they had a special attachment that had, like you would usually have to attach a totally different game. It didn't matter what game it was because they just used that game for the chip. It would piggyback off that into the other new game. Yeah, it was a big mess. But then there was Tenjin or whatever it was that I can't remember if they figured out how to duplicate the chips or whatever. So any of those black cases you saw back in the day, those were non-licensed Nintendo games. Even though some of those games came out as licensed versions, what happened though was those companies got pissed that Nintendo was shorting them on their carts, so they just found a way around it and made their own. And then they got sued in the process. It was a big fucking mess.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was intention that they were getting around that Konami owned them, didn't they? Like
Yeah,
Nintendo-
that's what it was. Is Konami owned the? Well, that's what they wanted to do. Was they weren't sending them enough carts, so they made their own cheap game company. I think that's where Tenjin came in,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you would
but
see those same exact games in licensed versions through Nintendo in the gray carts, but then all of a sudden you just see them in the black carts. Well, that means that their first run was gone, and now you're getting to the bootleg. They were bootlegging their own games, is what they were doing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, Nintendo, man, they really they shot themselves in the foot. They could have had it all. But they dropped the ball and the PlayStation came along. It's just never been the same for them after that.
Oh man, there was a lot of things that they dropped the ball on when it came to the video game race that they were doing back then. there were so many different platforms that just now they don't exist no more. Because are they still making the Wii? Because that was by Nintendo, right? The Wii system.
Yeah, that was like 2 consoles ago. They're on the Nintendo Switch now. I've got a Wii U. See with Nintendo, it's always my second console. So I'm always a generation behind on the Nintendo. And I've got a Wii U. I haven't bought the Switch though. I just wanted the Wii U so I could play Breath of the Wild. And they really hyped up Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild, I mean, it's not that revolutionary. Not when you compare it to like a Skyrim. And like Kiji Inafune, the guy that created Mega Man, was even talking about Japan and the state of Japanese gaming. He's like Japan is like at least 10 years behind everybody else at this point. And the reason is because, right, the technology caught up to like PC gaming. And so a lot of the companies that were making PC games, now the hardware on the consoles got powerful enough where they were making these crazy long ass games. And now all of a sudden the consoles can play them. And Nintendo and the Japanese companies, they were used to making for consoles. So they're not used to making those complicated, really long games. And it really shows. Breath of the Wild, I mean, it's a fun game. It's probably the best Zelda game, but it's still like way behind even a Skyrim, which came out, 10 years before. God, I think 10 years before Breath of the Wild, or pretty close to it. And yeah, dude, I still play Skyrim. I mean, I'm like 82% on that game. That game is massive.
No, you're right. Outside of the Wii, which, let's face it, it had a gimmick, so it was kind of a fluke for them. Since the Super Nintendo, I don't know if they've really had a huge hit.
I don't think they have.
Huh.
I do think the GameCube probably had last 3 Nintendo.
Yeah, probably
consoles,
the GameCube. Yeah,
the GameCube had some great games. It had the Metroid Prime games, and it had I think the Metroid Prime games are really, as far as first party, were the best games they came out with. I love those things, man. Those were some great games.
But I mean, I don't remember that selling on the levels that they were used to anyway.
Oh, no, it fell off. It sold much worse than the N64 did. It was known as like the kiddie console. Nintendo just kind of got stuck with that after, the PlayStation came out. The PlayStation, you had the, Metal Gear Solid, and you had
Oh yeah,
just all those crazy games that were much more, geared towards adults than Nintendo's content. Even Tomb Raider. I remember the first time I ever played the original Tomb Raider, which really sucked because this was before they had analog sticks. So you still had to do it with a D-pad. And my cousin, introduced me to it, and I went to go jump thinking it was like Super Mario Brothers. I jumped off this cliff to go back down, and all of a sudden she starts screaming. She started, ah, 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 and then crunch, and she's lying there dead. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, you fell too far. Why'd you jump off a cliff? And I was thinking of Super Mario Brothers where you could do that, and I was like, well, I wanted to go down. It's like, you broke her neck. And I was like, that's the most awesome thing ever. They had all kinds of cool death animations for Tomb Raider. Like, I got eaten by a dinosaur, and she's like screaming, ah, ah, and you can see the dinosaur go, rah, just shaking her in his mouth and then dropping her limp dead body down. That was amazing. Great day for video games.
Oh, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. I played the majority of the platforms, but I remember Xbox and the original Xbox and PS2. Me and a buddy of mine, we back when I was back in Gary, Indiana for a little while. We had a routine. I had a delivery job. You know what I'm saying? And I had to wait for certain times and all that to go make deliveries. And so a buddy of mine be just getting off work and in the morning, and we go over to his place, and you know how many PS2s that we wore out? We wore out three of them. And so every Call of Duty, every what is it, third person, second person fighter game you can think of, we were playing it. Gauntlet, we loved Gauntlet. My God, I'm kind of hoping. I don't know if they make it for PS4, but I'm hoping to find Gauntlet for PS4 if they make it. That's a fun game because you can literally have four guys and four people can play with that in that game. Great game. Remember Gauntlet in the video game parlors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a place, Scandia by me that used to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And there was a place that I used to go to. It was called Balls and Strikes. It was in Portage. They had batting cages. He had pinball machines and video games. I think there was even a pool table there. And the guys, this old guy named Bob, he was the owner. And he really did. He tolerated the hell out of all of us. He let us pretty much do whatever we wanted as long as we followed his 3 rules. Don't bring alcohol into my place. You gotta smoke some cannabis. Go over there. Go off the property, and no fighting. And as long as we followed his rules, they pretty much let us have as much fun as we wanted. As long as we did that, and all of us knew if we abused that, we knew we wouldn't have a cool place to hang out. Great place. A lot of good memories in that place. Hanging out in video game parlors, batting cages. Fun days, fun times. Buddy of mine has a pinball machine, and so some days we'll be throwing darts, and in between turns on darts, we'd be playing each other on the pinball machine. And I think I'm gonna try and get myself a pinball machine, and guess where it's going?
I want an Indiana Jones pinball machine.
Oh, dude, I want a Terminator pinball machine. Remember those? My God, they were so intricate.
Yeah, I just, when I was in high school, I worked at a pizza place, and we had an Indiana Jones pinball machine, and we used to drink beer and just play that thing for hours.
Fun times, man. Fun times.
Yep. Yeah. It's when I think about the millennials, they don't really have jobs or high school jobs or do any of that stuff. It's kind of weird. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, it's those good old times. Those things are gone. They won't really ever really come back because, I think because where I grew up in my generation, we kind of took the younger ones under our arm. We kind of schooled them a little bit, and that's not happening no more. That's gone, and my generation, Generation X, and where I was from, we took care of the younger people around us that was below us, and we didn't let no one mess with some of the younger people, and we look after them, and that doesn't happen no more. And I try to do what I can as much as I can anymore, and those little things that I developed, they carry on into my adult life because if you don't surround yourself with basically good friends and good people, and then once you have that, you got to take care of that. You got to take care of those people that are in your life. Doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing, whether it's on YouTube. You got to cherish that. That's important, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, shoot. Appreciate you inviting me on here, Bear. I think I gotta hit the sack. But yeah, man, always a good stream. Love coming on here.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night too.
It's hitting the 2:26 mark, and I think it's a good place to end it. And I'm gonna go watch some Deep Space Nine, I think.
There you go, man.
I'm telling you, man, I've been watching the hell out of Deep Space Nine lately. And you know what? I gotta say, my favorite character is Miles O'Brien.
Yep.
Hold on a minute. My 5-year-old is knocking on the door. It's like, bedtime hugs, bedtime hugs.
Yeah,
And it's
time
like
for
it's
bed.
late. I'm looking like, okay, yeah, you con mom into letting you watch something.
Uh-huh. Lucky there ain't no school, huh?
Good thing, because there is preschool for my 5-year-old and first grade for my 6-year-old.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no school.
Yeah, most of them are pretty much shut down everywhere. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Thank you for coming out, and thank you, chat, for hanging out with us and listening to us. And we really appreciate you. Without you, it wouldn't be fun. Without the chat, without great guys on the panel, I appreciate you coming and supporting my channel. I really do. If I can do the same for anyone, I will always do that.
Absolutely. Well, we got Star Trek Picard coming up again. Oh, man, I don't know if I can handle much more of it.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday. We got, technically, we got 2 days and a couple hours. Well, hey, hell to the Phantom Menace, hell to the chat, and we appreciate you. You guys want to plug your channel?
Absolutely. So you can find me youtube.com/WesMoodyWebcast, where I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it's my webcast.
Indeed. Tommy, can you get Wes Moody's link in the chat because I can't find it amongst my long list of links on my notepad, please? And Tom?
Yeah, you can check me out at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark.
And I will put that link in the chat, and I will also put Midnight's Edge link in the chat as well.
Did we lose CJH there?
Nope. I'm still here. I'm still listening.
And
I'm just waiting for a good moment.
yeah, CJ, he's got a lot of what I call satellite bounce, and when he hears no one talking, we're still talking. And it's been that way for quite a while. I don't know anyone that I've streamed with that's over in Canada and on the East Coast. It seems to affect that way. And maybe it's just one of those things that StreamYard needs to get worked out because StreamYard is, barely a year old? Barely even 6 months old for that matter, I think, right?
Well, I think it's been around for a while, but they just happened to jump in at the right time when Google was doing their thing. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's sometimes a lag.
All right. Hey, CJ, throw your link in the channel if you could because you're wrenched. And we will see you all later, and we appreciate you. Have a great one. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands a lot.
Yeah.
Hail to the Phantom Menace. And use Pine Sol if you have to. It works.
Yeah.
Good night, folks. Stay safe. Hail.
Good night.
Yeah.